at a rain-soaked Lock-In Stadium and Shelley Yelling Field, where today the Vikings will attempt to defeat the 17th ranked team in the nation in Dickinson State University. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have the all-star team of Ryan, Jaden, and Ellie back with you here today, and this is a test. This is not the beginning of the game. It is not the beginning of the game as of yet, okay? Just so you know. Beautiful.
That sounds excellent.
All right, we Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you today to Lock-In Stadium and Shelley Ellig Field, which is anything but comfortable this afternoon. We've got a nice icy breeze blowing through the stadium. We've had some intermittent rain that's dampened things up, and in the end, we've got one of these every year where you can go underneath near the concession stands and where the ticket takers are and actually see your breath underneath the superstructure of Lock-In Stadium and Shelley Ellig Field. But today, final home game for Valley City State. It's our senior day today as they take on Dickinson State University, a game that Dennis McCulloch last week said would be like Valley City State's playoff game. The Vikings are not going to make the playoffs this year. Dickinson State could. They're the 17th ranked team in the country, and they're the leader as far as the conference is concerned. Someone from the NSAA makes the conference, actually the playoff picture, as the conference champion. So Dickinson State likely to get there, but the Vikings could tumble them a little bit today. And after a tight matchup out in Dickinson the first time around, the Vikings are trying to sort of render that and get a win over Dickinson State. And wins over Dickinson State are rare, so you take them when you can get them. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak with you, Ali Tombarsh on our camera work here today. Jaden, here we go. We're just about to the end of the season. And when you get to these final couple of games, you want to give your seniors, which there are very few for Valley City State, but they're good ones, and you want to give them something to remember. And when you're on your last home game, you want to give the home fans something to remember as well. So even though the playoff picture is not exactly there, there's still a lot to play for the Vikings today.
Yeah, like you said, playoff picture is not going to be there this year for Valley City, but you've got the chance to take on a really good team here. And I know we said this season maybe a bit of a frustrating season for this Viking football team, but if you can end it with a classic win at home in some of the seniors' final home game against a team like Dickinson State, does it put a bit of an asterisk on what was a frustrating season for Valley?
Yeah, and if you can get a couple of wins back to back here, you've got a chance to be 5-5 as well. The Vikings come in with a record of 3-5, and 500 or better is always a benchmark. Next week, you have a chance to sweep the season series with the University of Jamestown. But in order to be 5-5, you've got to get this one today, and a Dickinson State team that's ranked 17th in the country, and there's a reason. They've got a defense that really is hard to find holes against, and an offense that can move the ball very quickly, and they're deep. That's one of the things that I noticed about this Dickinson State team. They have men that come off the bench on the defensive side and have accrued 20 or 20-plus tackles this year, so they've got a lot of weapons to go to. It'll take a big game today for Valley City State. Last week, the Vikings were at home. Viking defense played well, but that offensively was just a really, really tough game to wrap your brain around. 10-6 final score as Avery Thorsgaard throws a touchdown pass to Trent Finney for the only touchdown in the game. It's got to be better than that today offensively if the Vikings are going to get a win over Dickinson State.
Absolutely, and the thing, excuse me, Ryan, the thing coming back from a frustrating offensive game is you have a lot of opportunities to make adjustments and learn from your mistakes, and I think a similar kind of weather game here for Valley City State. Played in the cold last week, going to play in the cold again, and it's going to be about finding those opportunities, making the most of those opportunities, not taking a drive off. When they get hot on a drive, they move the ball really well and they mix up their offense well, but they have to have more of those drives and less of those drives where it sputters out.
Our pregame report today brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. We're glad to have you with us here today at Shelley Ellig Field and Lock-In Stadium. And today, Valley City State will take on Dickinson State in game number 9 of the season. The Vikings are currently 3-5, and Dickinson State University comes into this matchup today with a record of 7-1. And we've got more coming up on our pregame report in a couple of moments. We'll take a look at some of the players to watch in this one. Also, the Viking volleyball team is celebrating a victory as they came up with a win last night inside the North Star Athletic Association. The Vikings came up with a win to move on to the next round of the tournament in the NSAA after they swept Dickinson State University. Remember, we thought that game was going to be today, and as it turns out, they moved it to last night. So the Vikings already have a win over Dickinson State this weekend. Now they'll go on to the NSAA tournament at Bellevue, and we'll tell you a bit about what that looks like. And we've also got some non-conference basketball that we'll have on the air for you here coming up this week as well. So a lot to do as we make our way through our pregame report, brought to you today by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. It's the Vikings and Dickinson State University today. Here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, Q101, a special sports presentation of KOVC. Our video content is available for you today. You can find our video coverage on our website, newsdakota.com. Go to newsdakota.com and you'll find our video stream there in the sports section, and also under the sports tab on the homepage with a look look into the video link, and you can also pull this in on your smart device today at the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. We have more coming up in a couple of moments on Viking football.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News and World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
This is Dr. Amanda Heck, physical therapist with Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Valley City, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Enderlin. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. From sports injuries to work-related injuries, neurological diagnosis, and pediatric development delays, we will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football today, as Valley City State will take on Dickinson State University here on Q101, KQDJ-FM, a special sports presentation of the Voice of the Vikings, Voice of the Valley, KOVC. The reason for our presence here today on Q101 is Highlander volleyball is currently underway at the Highlander Activity Center today, as the Highlanders are up against Grand Forks Central in an Eastern Dakota Conference play-in matchup. If the Highlanders are to win that, they would be the 7th seed going into the East Region Tournament. They'd go to Fargo Davies coming up on Tuesday. So they're looking to win what is an elimination game today going on at the Highlander Activity Center. And that brings us to Q101 today, although that matchup should be nearing completion or is complete at this point. And we'll get you a score update when we have the opportunity to do so. Our pregame report for Viking football is presented today by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all and here for good. Let's take a look at the current standings that we have in our North Star Athletic Association stack up. For those of you on your video feed here today, you'll be able to see that with us here today. On your screen, you can see that Dickinson State University is the lone ranked team right now out of the North Star Athletic Association, and there are two teams that have winning records, and one of those wins for Dakota State University is one the Vikings would definitely like to have a comeback from a couple of weeks ago. Inside the 10-yard line against the Trojans 3 times, miss a field goal, throw 2 interceptions, and they end up losing the matchup by a final score of 13-6. That's a game that if the Vikings had, they'd be 4-4 right now. Dakota State would be 4-4, and you'd have a chance to split these last two to get to that 500 record. But as it is right now, the Vikings will have to win out in the season in order to grab that 500 record. But Dickinson State, the 17th ranked team in the country right now. Again, the old provision of having to be ranked in the top 20 to make the playoffs as a conference champion is gone. Every conference gets an automatic bid. That means the North Star Athletic Association champion is getting in. And what that means, as you take a look at the screen right now, is that Dickinson State's going to the playoffs. They have a 3-game lead over their nearest competition with only 2 games left to play. So in the long run, Dickinson State has locked up the lone automatic playoff spot out of the NSAA, and it's highly unlikely anybody else is going to find their way into the top 20 at this point at the end of the year. So Dickinson State will be representing the Vikings, or rather representing the NSAA, and that brings a little bit of a different angle to this matchup, because if you're Dickinson State, you can't really afford to rest players, because if you start losing games down the stretch, your seed in the playoffs definitely will be jeopardized. But based on the history that we have in the North Star and the former Dakota Athletic Conference, if you're not ranked in the top 10, you're going to Helena or someplace like that anyway to play one of the top teams in the nation. So Pete Stanton, the head coach of Dickinson State, probably mulling through some different decisions that he has to make today to get ready for that playoff push. But you can see Dakota State, Mayville State in second place each. They're both 3-3 on the season. Valley City State 2-4. The University of Jamestown 2-5. It's very abnormal for people to look at that conference stack up and see the Vikings and the Jimmies both on the bottom of the league right now, but that is the reality that we have as far as the conference. So Dickinson State's in, and right now the Vikings are just kind of playing for some pride to try to jump back up into the middle of that stack today.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you alluded to, a bit of a log jam. Otherwise, Dickinson State pretty much the clear front runner in this conference. But yeah, again, you have a little bit of drama near the end of the season as far as that 2 to 5 teams go. And if you're Valley City, if you win out here, your position in standings looks a lot better than it may have felt at least this year. And obviously we alluded to a bit of a frustrating season, not used to seeing the Vikings down this low, but like I said earlier, a classic win against this Dickinson State football team could really brighten up the season.
Absolutely. This is a big one today for Valley City State, even though there won't be a playoff picture coming up. Still the final home game. It's senior day, and then of course as far as the standings are concerned, all you can do at this point is try to get a little help, chase down a couple of wins, and see if you can't finish in second place. And you'd be able to say that, yeah, you lost a game, but you ended up getting a win over the eventual conference champion, and that's why the Vikings will look at this as their playoff game that they're going to have today. That's a look at the standings that we have in the NSAA here in our pregame report, brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. When we come back, we'll take a look at the players to watch in this matchup. We had an interesting time putting that together today. We'll talk more about that in a moment. This is our coverage of Viking football on Q101, special sports presentation of KOVC, along with NewsDakota.com and the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. Stay with us, more on the way in a couple of moments.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries, and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Welcome back to Viking football today here on Q101 KQDJ-FM, a special sports presentation of the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak with you, and Ellie Tombarge will have our video work that we'll have for you today here at Locken Stadium and Shelley Ellick Field. The Vikings are 3-5 on the season, and they'll take on a 7-1 Dickinson State University Blue Hawks team. Blue Hawks 6-0 inside the conference, the Vikings 2-4, and the Vikings trying to bump the 17th ranked team in the country today as they take them on here at Shelley Ellick Field and Locken Stadium. Our pregame report today brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. Let's take a look at our players to watch that we have in this one today. We'll start with Valley City State. A couple of these names are a little bit familiar. One of those is a senior. Avery Thorsgaard had a big game last week for the Vikings in a game where offense was hard to come by. He had 87 yards rushing last week, threw the ball for 90, including the lone touchdown that was scored in that matchup. Avery Thorsgaard hooks up with the man to his left and your right on that screen, Trent Finney. Trent Finney has 11 catches on the season for 94 yards, but he caught the lone touchdown pass of his season and scored the lone touchdown last week against Mayville State. It was the winning score for the Vikings. And then that man on the right, Mosiah, what is going on? They've got some artificial noisemakers here to bring out the seniors. Okay, Mosiah Rogers-Tavau on the right-hand side of your screen today. 11 tackles against Mayville State. He led the team. He's got a tackle and a half for loss this year and a half a sack. But Mosiah Rogers-Tavau was just a beast last week against the Comets. He's had a great year up there in a defensive line that's had a great year, but it's fun to get him in the mix today and certainly fun to see him last week.
For sure, and last week being such a defensive struggle for both teams, you need your defense to come up big, and you need some of those players on your defense to come up big. And Mosiah Rogers-Tavau, 11 tackles, 2 for a loss and half a sack. We see the stats right there, and you see it as well. It was an impressive performance. And then the two guys on offense, Thorsgaard and Finney. That offense is going to have to run through Avery Thorsgaard today. We've seen it the past few weeks. It's been all him. And then Trent Finney, the big tight end. He can definitely create some offense, and he's definitely a weapon that Avery Thorsgaard looks to.
They're introducing some of the seniors right now. Avery Thorsgaard, Loke Yese, Sal Soto. We've also seen Ty Combs go out onto the field. Micah Olson is out there as well. So they're acknowledging the seniors that we have here today, and there aren't a ton on this football team. There really aren't. Tyler Ross being introduced right now at this point. And we'll see a couple of additional seniors that will come out. But, boy, we've got a lot of people that are going to be underclassmen on this team. Also being introduced is Austin Richter, who is a junior apparently by eligibility, but perhaps a senior when it comes down to academics, and so they're kind of introducing those people that are going to be graduating and coming out of the program this year. Let's take a look at Dickinson State University's players to watch today. None of those numbers on your screen are correct, okay? They just throw jerseys on them or something like that. I'm not sure what the explanation was, but none of the numbers are right. However, the names and the faces are, okay? Will Madler, he's one of the reasons why this team has been so successful. 1,822 yards passing this season. He has 19 touchdown passes this year. He's a Division II transfer out of Northern State University and has really done a nice job of leading that Blue Hawks team. Braden Zerhoff next to him, 574 yards rushing. You wouldn't think a lot of that number at 574 on this season, but here's the thing. We have our national anthem going on. We'll come back with more on that in a second. Let's take a break, and we'll come back to those players next. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. To get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Well, we apologize. We didn't realize that the starting lineups are coming up with just the seniors on the field. We were waiting for the rest of the Vikings to go out there and come onto the field. But perhaps that siren short-circuited everything today. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, welcome back to Lockett Stadium at Shelley Ellick Field. Vikings introducing the seniors will go out as the captains today as we continue with our pregame coverage brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all, here for good. You see the Vikings coming onto the field now. That siren is a new feature. And I'm not sure. I might send Jaden up there with a pair of wire cutters and see if we can't just kind of take that out of play. It's a weird sound, isn't it?
Well, if I'm looking across, like I'm looking below us right now.
Is that an artificial noisemaker in the stands?
I think it's going to be like almost one of those horns that you kind of blow into, and it just is and there seems to be some kind of noisemaker. Again, I'm going to get a better look at it. And then we can really see what it is. But it's coming. They're sitting right under us. It's coming up into our booth loud.
I see. That's great. Okay. Let's go back to our Dickinson State University players to watch. We mentioned Will Madler, 1,822 yards, 19 touchdowns on the year. Braden Zerhoff next to him. The reason why we mentioned that, under normal circumstances, that 574 yards rushing wouldn't really stand out, but it does, because they have become a pass-first offense at Dickinson State with their quarterback the way they are. That's one of the reasons why they're successful, and so he's done enough around the edges to make teams respect the run, and he's a very respectable running back. Dylan Dahlgren, though, here's a guy on the right-hand side of your screen that can disrupt a lot of things on the defensive line. 6.5 sacks this season, 9.5 tackles for loss. He's not the leader on the defensive side in tackles, but he's the leader in what we call disruptive tackles or disruptive plays on the defensive line. He's a guy the Vikings are definitely going to have to block up today. And those are your players to watch in this one as we bring our pregame show to a conclusion today. The Vikings and Dickinson State. Pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. And we get ready for the start of the matchup between the Vikings and Dickinson State this afternoon. Take a look through our starting lineups today. First of all, for the Dickinson State University Blue Hawks, starting at the center's position is Evan Showalter. The guards are Edward Aranda Calixto and Scotty Woodruff, and the tackles are Will Rollins and Brandon Bennick. The wide receivers are C.J. Stinson, Samaj Clark, and Kyle Meineke. The tight end, Caden Hooley. The running back, Braden Suroff, and the quarterback, Will Madler, defensively for Dickinson State. The nose is Wyatt Anderson. The tackles, Matt Anderson. The end is Dylan Dahlgren. The linebackers are Nate Gillick, Brooks Talbot, Riley Waters, and Shell Osborne. The corners are Cooper McLaughlin and Jaden Hartwell, and the safeties are Joey DeMarco and Jack Hartman. The Vikings will be on offense first, and we'll take a look at their starting lineups in a couple of moments here after we get the kickoff away. Dickinson State will kick the football to start today, and Chase Miller will be doing the kicking. Xavier Westbrook is back deep to receive for Valley City State. The kick is away, and we are underway with Viking football as Westbrook will take the return from the 4. Sets up middle return, but is in all kinds of trouble. Spun away from one tackler and is down at the 17-yard line. Solid defensive coverage down the field for Dickinson State with the stop on special teams made by Jackson Simonson. And I believe that was one of the numbers that changed on us, actually. It is. That's Max Cattermas that made the stop for Dickinson State. They had some numbers changes as well, so this has not been a clean setup today for a broadcast, and Jaden can attest to that. We actually got kind of a talking to about a pronunciation that we thought we had right for 2 years, and as it turns out, we didn't. Avery Thorsgaard out of the shotgun on first and 10. It's Noah Chambers actually taking the snap to Colby Jones, and Jones running a screen pass, has a gain across the 25 and out to the 28-yard line. Perhaps 27 for a gain of 9 on the opening throw of the game. So that changes the starting lineup look as well. Avery Thorsgaard was listed as the starter. So let's run through the starters for the Vikings. The center's Bryce Prouty. The guards are Weiss Wilpricht and Tommy Cox. And the tackles are Jonah Larson and Zach Kuznia. Wide receivers, Jake Deutsch, Dome Sotomayor, and Xavier Westbrook. The tight ends, Trent Finney, Legarius Marshall, but Colby Jones is in to start the game. And Noah Chambers evades a sack and throws downfield and has Nick Mears for an over-the-shoulder catch inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. And the Vikings have a first down in Dickinson State University territory on the opening drive of the game.
Well, welcome to the game, Ryan. Fast-paced offense here for Valley City State, and Noah Chambers in over Avery Thorsgaard, which was a surprise to us too, and 2 positive plays to start.
Absolutely. Great play that time for Noah Chambers. And now Chambers on first down and 10 takes the shotgun, throws it to Xavier Westbrook, who has met and stopped hard out on the far perimeter at around the 28-yard line. Dickinson State comes up with a stop coming in hard from Chase Selly, who's a defensive back out of Dickinson, North Dakota. He makes the stop on that play, and it will be second down and 10 after Xavier Westbrook has stopped for no gain.
Now the Vikings, they like to use Avery Thorsgaard on the ground, but Noah Chambers really good with the arm. You'll see more passes out of him for sure, and definitely these first couple plays looking for a couple screens, then going deep to Mears there. A bit of a different offense runs through Noah Chambers.
He hasn't played for 2 weeks for Valley City State. Second down and 10. Chambers throwing over the middle, pass incomplete. Xavier Westbrook had coverage from Nate Gillick in the linebacker core. So here comes third down and 10 for the Vikings. A great explosive play to Nick Mears. 6 catches for 59 yards coming into the day today. Mears has been a second half of the season type of receiver for Valley City State. One of those guys that found his way onto the field quite a bit. And the Vikings will bring Legarius Marshall back into the game, replacing him. So they'll put a running back on the field. And that may mean that the Vikings are looking at this as 4-down territory from the Dickinson 28-yard line rather than empty the backfield and try to convert on third and 10. It's third and 10 with a running back in the game and a 4-receiver stack. Dropping back, Chambers flushed out of the pocket, gonna run right up the middle of the field, slides, he got to the 20 and took a hit, and an umpire took a hit, and here comes a flag from the near side of the field. Chambers was trying to give himself up, and I think we're gonna see a late hit against Dickinson State, a personal foul. The Vikings gonna pick up some additional yardage after Chase Selly will make the hit on Chambers trying to slide.
Yeah, always tough on the defender there when the quarterback goes down, and especially when they're in the motion of the tackle, it's hard to kind of stop up. Your momentum's going forward.
Personal foul, late hit, number 9, defense.
But all levels really doing more to protect the quarterback here. NFL, we see it a lot of controversy with it, but definitely the right move if you want to keep quarterbacks healthy and in the game.
So the Vikings will pick up half the distance to the goal on the personal foul late hit against Chase Selly, and the Vikings will have the football right around the 10. It will be first down and goal. The chains will not be set up, and the ball just inside the 10-yard line. Chambers out of the shotgun, rolling right side, design rollout, and he'll be down at the 10 for a loss on the play. Nate Gillick was able to get to him on the near edge. A little pressure coming from Dylan Dahlgren. Man, we talked about in the pregame report, Dahlgren comes up with one of the initial hits. No gain, and it's second down and goal.
Quite the start here for the Vikings. Definitely not the first drive I think I was expecting. It's taken them a few drives to get their offense rolling here, but out of the gate, Chambers firing. Not the quarterback we expected, but down in the 10-yard line here, I think the Vikings really like the spot they're in early.
Second down and goal. Legarius Marshall back in the game, running back on the right. Austin Richter will motion across the formation. Chambers dropping back in some trouble, steps up in the pocket, hit and dropped. Back at the 16, Wyatt Anderson comes up with a quarterback sack for Dickinson State and comes up with a big stop against Noah Chambers, who was looking for someone open and just couldn't find anybody. And third down and goal, but now back at the 16-yard line after the loss of 6 yards.
Yeah, Wyatt Anderson, good sack there. 6'2", junior from Joylett, Montana. Setting the offense back here for the Vikings a little bit. And, yeah, outside those first 2 plays here in the penalty, the offense has slowed down a little bit.
Here comes third down and goal from the 16. Chambers out of the shotgun. Legarius Marshall to his left, play action to him. Chambers going to be hit from the backside. He never saw Dylan Dahlgren coming. A rush off the right side for Dickinson State's defense, and Dahlgren was uncontested to the quarterback, and that pushes the football all the way back to the 23. So what was first down and goal at the 10 ends up being 13 yards the wrong direction, and a 40-yard field goal try coming up now for Evan Lorenzo to try to capitalize on the big play to Nick Mears. Lorenzo is a left-footed kicker, and Avery Thorsgaard will hold with the ball right in the middle of the field. Good snap, the spot is down. Lorenzo's kick has leg, but he may have missed it wide right. He did. Hooked it wide right. The Vikings come away without points, and Dickinson State will come out of the field after their defense holds. A good start for the Vikings to stretch the field with Noah Chambers going downfield on a deep ball. But the Vikings come away without a score, and it's 0-0 on our scoreboard, brought to you by LaRue Laco Financial, as Dickinson State gets the ball for the first time.
Yeah, coming up with nothing on that drive is going to sting a little bit, but I don't think Dennis McCulloch will mind the way his offense looked, at least early in that drive. The big bomb to Nick Mears we saw. Noah Chambers throwing the ball early, looking to looking to spread the field out, and let's see Dickinson's offense come on here for the first time.
Madler out of the shotgun. He's got Braden Zerhoff to his right on first down, and Zerhoff will get the football. Tries middle and nudges up to around the 27-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 23, so we'll see Madler picking up perhaps 4, maybe 3. Gavin Gerhardt in on part of that stop for the Vikings coming up from the safety position. And it'll be a 4-yard pickup for Braden Zerhoff. 574 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns this season. Is there to really complement what Will Madler can do throwing the football. Madler drops back and has a ton of time on second down. He's flushed out of the pocket, rolling to the right side, throws the ball to the turf, and the pass is caught on the far side. Samaj Clark, their big play man, comes up with a catch and is right around first down yardage. He'll have it as the ball comes out to the 36-yard line. First down, Dickinson State.
Yeah, Will Madler, good play there. Didn't feel the pressure, but then got flushed out, and then a calm, collected play there, picks the first down up with the arm. And obviously, you're going to have to respect both sides of this Dickinson offense. They have the run, they have the pass. And like you said, Ryan, earlier, a lot of depth in this team, a lot of people who can make some plays for the Dickinson State Bluehawks.
Yeah, Samaj Clark is one of those little shovel pass to the right side for Braden Zerhoff, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Malachi Torres, 32 tackles on the year, coming in, comes up with a nice defensive play in that situation. That'll force a 2-yard loss from Dickinson State and bring up a second down and 12. A nice stop against the run early for the Vikings.
Yeah, a good stop there by Malachi Torres. You don't want this Dickinson State offense to get rolling. They're a big threat there. A lot of weapons on this offense. Will Madler can certainly air it out and has weapons in the air. And second down here, second and 12 here for Dickinson State.
Cale Gunlock steps in as a 4th receiver now. Empty backfield for Dickinson State. Madler out of the shotgun. Just a one-step back pedal. Throws to Gunlock, who makes a diving catch up and around the Blue Hawk 39. Be a mild gain, 5 yards for Gunlock as they'll spot it at the 39-yard line. And here comes a third down and a big chance for the Viking defense to try to get off the field. The Vikings going to bring in a nickel defensive back in this situation. Sal Soto will step in. And the Vikings will go with a 3-man rush up front perhaps. It looks like that's what they'll do. They'll go to their 3 technique up on the defensive line. Can the Vikings create some pressure? They'll need to. Madler waiting for a shotgun snap. He'll motion Samaj Clark behind the line of scrimmage. Madler takes the snap, drops back. The Vikings rush 3, spy 1, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Kyle Meineke. Good coverage by James Don, but the Vikings rushed 3 and then left 1 back as a spy to contain Madler. A nice defensive look, and the Vikings will get their defense off the field.
Yeah, good idea. Good play design there by the Vikings to counter that pass. And, you know, on third down, you can almost guarantee Will Madler's letting that one go with the arm he has. And good stop early by the Vikings.
We'll see a punt from Dickinson State. Michael Olson's back to receive it, nearly blocked. They get it away, it's short. End over end, and the Vikings will let it roll. Takes a hop at the 32, across the 30, trickles down to the 25, and will be touched up just ahead of the Viking 23. So each team with a defensive stop. The Vikings with the most explosive play in the early going. 7 minutes into the game, and we are scoreless on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard here at Lock-In Stadium and Shelley Ellick Field.
Yeah, Chambers coming out here again to lead this Viking offense on the second drive. You wonder if Avery Thorsgaard's going to get into the game at some point. Obviously been running the offense the past couple weeks. Vikings maybe looking for a little bit of a switch up here. Early they're looking to pass, I'll tell you that.
4 receivers with 3 strung to the right of Avery Thorsgaard. Out of the pistol, play action, throw to Xavier Westbrook, who slips as he catches the football and is down for a loss back to the 20. That'll be a loss of 3. He had Nate Gillick bearing down on him, the former Dickinson Trinity Titan, who is a fantastic athlete for Dickinson State. Xavier Westbrook, a very quiet 24-catch season for the Vikings, but loss of 2 there.
Yeah, that turf's going to be slippery today. Obviously, a bit of rain, bit of wind. The elements are going to come in, be a factor. It's going to be dig deep time for both teams here. Tough to run an offense sometimes in the cold, so we'll see which team can execute better for sure.
Second down and 12. Westbrook motions across the formation for the Vikings from right to left, and we've got whistles. Somebody may have moved when the umpire throws the flag. That's usually what it is on a pre-snap penalty, and it will be a false start penalty against the Vikings. This going back to the 16-yard line. Boy, after the long throw to Nick Mears, the Vikings haven't been able to find a whole lot of breaks here, as they ended up with a couple of quarterback sacks when they got down deep. And that was after the late hit on Noah Chambers put him inside the 10-yard line for a 1st and goal.
And the Vikings have had trouble in the red zone, especially down really in that 10-yard line all year long. So definitely some woes there. We'll see what they can do here with long field position.
2nd and 18, and we'll see Noah Chambers sliding again.
That
Gets
could be a
out to
late
around
hit.
the 24. No, they won't throw the flag this time, as Chambers was hit just as a defensive player was about to get to him, and it's tough to sell the late hit on that. It'll be a pickup, though, for Chambers of about 9, and here comes 3rd and 9 for the Vikings.
Yeah, helps them get within 3rd and manageable here. Chambers obviously probably going to let the arm go here, find a receiver.
Under 7 to play in the opening quarter. Vikings in their own territory. Not a lot of wind at this point, so punts will be unaffected by that. Chambers dropping back under duress again, throws incomplete. The Viking offensive line just really having a struggle protecting Noah Chambers. He had an opportunity to throw the ball to Nick Mears on that opening play, but we have seen this Dickinson State defensive front really hamper Noah Chambers throughout the course of the opening quarter.
Well, we talked last week, Ryan, about how young this offensive line is, and obviously had some struggles protecting their quarterback. Chambers looking for Legarius Marshall. They're underthrown a little bit because he was under so much pressure, but you're going to want to see that O-line step up here for Valley City State if you want to get this offense rolling.
Carson Hunter is back to return the kick for Dickinson State. It's a line drive to him. He makes the catch at the 36-yard line, sets up middle return. Took a big hit as he got out to around the 47 and is down there, and he may be a little wobbly on that one as the Vikings come up with a solid play downfield on special teams. But the really end result of that is that Dickinson State's going to have very good field position, a short porch as they're looking at the football at the 47, their own.
Yeah, big hit there on the return, and we heard that one up here. But like you said, you don't want to give this Dickinson State offense short field position. A lot of weapons, like we were saying. Will Madler can really throw the ball. Obviously, Zerhoff, a good compliment to him in the backfield. Didn't have much going for them in that first drive, though.
1st and 10, Dickinson State from the 47. Low snap, they'll give to Zerhoff. Right side hit, trying to run through it. Helmet's off. Zerhoff is down. Michael Olson, one of the seniors today, ends up with his headgear coming off. He'll have to come to the sideline. He's holding his head as well as he comes off. I think he's just trying to fix a headband, though. Short gain for Braden Zerhoff of 2 yards, and it's 2nd down and 8 coming up for Dickinson State.
Yeah, definitely going to be a headband issue there for Michael Olson. I think he's ready to come on next play here.
Braden Zerhoff, an interesting story. New Salem, North Dakota kid. He's a New Salem Holstein. They've had a really, really good run of football in the last few years. A little downturn this year. 2nd down and 8, 3 receivers. The turn, they'll give it away. Zerhoff again trying to pick and choose a spot. Short gain as he makes his way through the middle part of the field, across midfield, and to the 46 of Valley City State, a gain of 5. And here comes 3rd down and 3 for Valley City State. And you may be looking at 4-down territory. The Viking offense has been inconsistent. And if you're Dickinson State, you might be thinking that this is a place to roll the dice if you don't pick up the 1st down.
No, I was actually just about to say the same thing, Ryan. Definitely 4-down territory in my eyes here for Dickinson State. 3rd and manageable, though. They could definitely convert right here.
3rd and 3. Madler out of the shotgun, takes the snap. 4 receivers run routes. Madler standing tall, fires, and it's incomplete over the middle of the field. He was looking over the seam in the middle of the field for Gage Gilbert, a backup tight end, a freshman from Camp Cook, South Dakota. Had him open, couldn't quite locate him as far as the ball being thrown just a bit to Gilbert's right, and he couldn't reel it in. So here comes 4th and 3, and the Blue Hawks will punt the football. They're going to send out Jackson Willems to attempt another punt. Mike Olson will go back to receive it at the Viking 10-yard line.
I'm surprised by this here, Ryan. I think definitely we both thought 4-down territory. Low snap there.
Ground ball snap, rushed kick, line drive, rolling at Mike Olson, going to roll inside the 10. This will take a sideward roll at the 8-yard line, and the Vikings will have it 1st down and 10 at the 8-yard line. No timeouts as of yet. Our timeouts brought to you by Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. We're at 5:07 to play here in the opening quarter. Is anybody up here noticing that sound effect that they have below us, whatever it is, sounds like a cow in all kinds of distress? Are you noticing that?
It sounds like some sort of call, like a deer call or something. But yes, it's definitely not a sound you'd expect to hear at a football
It sounds
game.
like a bleat.
It's piercing my ears when it goes off.
It's really not pleasant. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Oh, someone jumped here. That's going to be on Dickinson State.
Vikings could use all the penalty yardage in this situation they can get from Dickinson State. It will be an encroachment call. That'll make it 1st down and 5.
It's going to go on Wyatt Anderson there.
Every once in a while, you know, one of the cattle will wander out into some bad alfalfa, and then, you know, I mean, they get stomach discomfort too, right? And they've got 4 of them, so it's 1st down and 5. Vikings rush the football out to the 14-yard line. Yes, I am attempting to publicly shame whoever has the noisemaker below us. Legarius Marshall for a yard, and it's 2nd down and 4 coming up for Valley City State.
I'll tell you what, not only do they have that that noisemaker, but again, they're sitting right under our booth, so we're going to be picking that up all night long. 2nd down here, 2nd and short here for Valley City, and Noah Chambers again here on the 3rd drive, obviously keeping an eye on that, as we know the starting quarterback was listed as Avery Thorsgaard, and he had been the quarterback for a few weeks.
They listed, it was an and again this week on the depth chart, so Avery Thorsgaard and Noah Chambers. Chambers will give to Legarius Marshall, found an angle off left side of the field and ends up stepping out of bounds across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Legarius Marshall for 7 yards and a 1st down. 282 yards on the season for Legarius Marshall. We saw him against Minot State, the opening game of the year, and just had a next look to him, and he's been in and out with injury throughout the course of the year, but playing some today and looking good.
Yeah, big physical running back in the backfield there for Valley City, and picking up that 1st down there. That's going to be Bacon continuing the drive.
1st down and 10. Chambers faces a blitz, throws near side, found Jake Deutsch, and he made a man miss. Deutsch is outside the numbers, the 40, to midfield, cutting back over the middle. 45-40 of Dickinson State, and knocked down at the 37-yard line. We'll take all kinds of noisemaker on that as Jackson Willems comes up with a tackle for Jake Deutsch. And it's 1st and 10 Vikings up at the 38 of Dickinson State.
Jake Deutsch so elusive. I love the way he plays. He's been really good there for Valley City State, and a big play there that gets them into Dickinson territory. And they're liking the pass today, Ryan.
Jake Deutsch made a man miss quickly, got outside the numbers. He's been a big play guy, the leading receiver for the Vikings with 284 yards this year. Chambers, play action, rolling, looking for a block, going to run it near side, got a block from Legarius Marshall. Then Marshall gets tangled up with the man that he blocked on that play. They end up going tay-a-tay on the sideline while Noah Chambers scrambles for 3, and it's 2nd down and 7, a long 7 coming up. You know, they hit that noisemaker a number of times. Do you wonder if they're listening to the broadcast down there and now they're just trying to get back at us a little bit?
Yeah, under our skin a little bit here. That could very well be.
I think that's probably happening.
I don't know how you're hearing our broadcast, though, from all the noise that's going on down
We're counting on the sound processing. 2nd down and 7. Chambers out of the gun, faces 5 on a blitz. Steps up in the pocket, hit from behind. It's Dahlgren again, and he'll go down back at around the 39 of Dickinson State. Dylan Dahlgren again, 6.5 sacks. That'll be 8.5. He's got 2 today, or at least 8 at that point. But I'll tell you what, Dylan Dahlgren, we mentioned him in the pregame report as a player to watch for Dickinson State. He's just tough to block, and this young offensive line having troubles with him today.
Yeah, absolutely, Dahlgren. We knew he was going to be a problem here. And just another example, a bit of the Valley City offense sputtering out after a big play, now facing 3rd and 10. So you want to see him convert here, or at least make it manageable on 4th.
3rd and 10. Chambers dropping back. Hit as he throws the football. Throws it in the flat pass. Caught Trent Finney. He's alone. Finney ahead of the 30. Down to around the 27-yard line. That may be enough for a 1st down.
It will be. Yep. Chains are moving, Ryan. Good play there by Trent Finney to get some yards after contact. And the noise.
The most annoying noisemaker in the conference.
I don't think we can compete.
And it's not even close. Like, there isn't a second-place noisemaker that challenges that one. That's an 11-yard pickup for Trent Finney. He had the lone touchdown last week against Mayville State. 1st and 10 Vikings from the Dickinson 27. Chambers, play action, wants to run. He cannot. He is hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped by Riley Waters. Their leading tackler coming in. 41 tackles on the season for Riley Waters. Plays a middle linebacker spot. And Waters will bring down Chambers for a loss of 2. Actually 3 rather. Back to around the 30. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, Chambers tried to sell the pass, call his own number there. Picked up there Riley Waters. Good play for Dickinson State. And For Dickinson State, you want to keep them out of field goal range here for sure. Obviously, you might be thinking 4-down territory if you're Valley City State, but again, 2nd down here, we'll let them play it out.
2nd down and 13 for the Vikings. 4 receivers, 3 to the right. Chambers, good time this time. Throws over the middle. Jake Deutsch makes a sliding catch up and around the 22. That'll be good for a gain of about 8 for Jake Deutsch, another go-to man for the Vikings, and he's made some go-to catches, officially the 23. And as you mentioned, 3rd and manageable. Now 3rd down and 6, and all of your options back on the table as we're down to the final half minute of the opening quarter.
Yeah, second catch there for Jake Deutsch on this drive, and again, someone Chambers is going to look to quite a bit today. I foresee here 3rd and manageable here for the Vikings.
Another blitz from Dickinson State. Chambers throws against it. Found Xavier Westbrook. Turns up. Tried to make a man miss. Somersaults his way down to the 17-yard line. Maybe enough for a 1st down. We'll see if that's going to be a pickup of 7 yards. They're going to move the sticks, and the Vikings will convert at the end of the opening quarter, and that'll be the end of 1. We'll have a timeout for Mobility Plus rehabilitation. And at the end of the opening quarter, on your LaRue Lacko Financial scoreboard, Dickinson State, nothing. Valley City State, nothing. We come back with the 2nd quarter next. This is our coverage of Viking football on the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley. Q101, special sports presentation of KOVC, with our video coverage at newsdakota.com and the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. Let us help you become our next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
It'll be 1st down and 10 for Valley City State at the 17 of Dickinson State. Noah Chambers hands the ball off to Colby Jones. 9 carries for 44 yards coming into the day, and he'll take it inside the Dickinson State 15. A pickup of 3 to the Blue Hawk 14. No score at the end of the opening quarter. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak with you today for Viking football. Ellie Tombarge has our video work here this afternoon. It's 2nd down and 7 for the Vikings from the Dickinson State 14-yard line. Chambers hit in the backfield, troubled and down, and guess who again? Dylan Dahlgren. Someone's got to block number 40 because that may be his 3rd quarterback sack of the afternoon. And it will bring up a 3rd down and 12 for the Vikings back at the 19.
Yeah, Dahlgren almost pushed it Noah Chambers into his own man there, and obviously another play for Dylan Dahlgren here, really disrupting this Valley City offense. 3rd and long here again. Are we in 4-down territory, Ryan?
I think we probably are. 3rd down and 12 for the Vikings. 3 receivers to the right. Chambers takes the snap, dropping back to throw. Looking end zone. Jake Deutsch can't get a foot in bounds. He's out of bounds off the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he almost got that foot down there, Ryan. I'm not surprised. I did see him run that route. I thought Noah Chambers was going to go his way. They are going to bring the field goal team here out. Already missed 1 here. This one a little bit closer. It's going to go about a 35 here, Ryan.
35-yard field goal attempt, 36 officially for Evan Lorenzo. So Lorenzo will kick it from 36 yards out. Left-footed kicker out of the hold of Avery Thorsgaard once again, looking for the first points of the day. Good snap. The hold is down. Kick is on its way. That one looks like it's good, and it is. And the Vikings will take a 3-0 lead. 13:43 left of the first half. On our LaRue Lacko Financial scoreboard, we have a timeout for Mobility Plus rehabilitation. This is Viking football on Q101, special sports presentation of KOVC, with our video coverage, newsdakota.com and the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News and World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football and some sort of rodeo today from Shelley Ellig Field in Locken Stadium. You'll hear the cows below us as we get moving into the first half. 3-0 Vikings. Someone has to come and remove that artificial noisemaker. It must be done. Evan Lorenzo is going to kick it. The Vikings will pick up a field goal of 36 yards from Evan Lorenzo at the 13:43 mark of the second quarter, and the Vikings kick the football away. He returned for Dickinson State along the numbers near side, and a huge hit right in the middle of the football field at the 27-yard line. That hit will come from Ty Combs, I believe. And we'll see Dickinson State come onto the field. Let's see if we can't get a look at that on our newsdakota.com replay and show you a jarring hit on special teams coverage. This will be right in the middle of your screen. Here comes the return, and this will, oh my goodness, that's one of those that will take you and pop your fillings out. And it was Ty Combs, one of the seniors that was honored here today. And are they calling a targeting call? Well, apparently there was a penalty on the kickoff, so they're going to redo it, so that's not going to count.
Well, and the returner coming back out here for Dickinson State, I believe it's Carson Hunter, a senior here for Dickinson State, and he's been roughed up twice now on the return. He got that big hit on the punt return and then the kick return, and he's going to have to go back out there again on the penalty and reset here.
So the Vikings may have been offside, apparently is going to be the call. And they'll kick from the 30.
Well, and it sounded like it was on Ty Combs, too, and I think that's where your targeting idea came from, because I believe it was on Ty Combs.
Well, the head was down when you took a look at that play.
Yes.
That's been a point of emphasis in college football. Last year, in the very first game of the year against the University of Jamestown, the Jimmies had a man ejected due to the targeting call. So it's just one of those things. But nonetheless, Lorenzo will kick it again, and Dickinson State will get a second bite at the kickoff return apple. So Lorenzo will kick it away. End over end, higher this time to the near side of the field. And taken at the 10-yard line for the return. And this one will see a little muscle play into the Viking sideline coming from Dickinson State's return man, Carson Hunter, who, as you mentioned, has been banged around a little bit today. And he decided to go initiate the contact that time rather than absorb it. Now Dickinson State behind 3-0, and I'm going to guess that trailing is a place that the Blue Hawks haven't been throughout most of the season. There may have been brief moments of it, but they're down 3-0 in the early second quarter, and we'll see if the Vikings can keep setting a tone with their defense now.
Definitely not the start we expected for Dickinson State. Obviously a high-octane offense here, and Valley City picking up the first points might have been a surprise to both sidelines, but again, things can happen, especially in the cold, Ryan, I think. Definitely throws your offense off a bit.
Madler to throw on first down. Steps into a deep throw downfield and has a man that he can't find. Samaj Clark, and it's incomplete. Clark being covered from behind by James Don, and Clark got a step on Don. Don is a Division II transfer also out of Northern State, so might have a little familiarity with Will Madler, although Madler was the quarterback for Dickinson State last year. Don is new to the Vikings this year.
Madler going for it all on first down there, and a better pass, maybe Samaj Clark is catching that and going to the house, but a little too far for him. Second down here for Dickinson State.
Three receivers to the left for the Blue Hawks on second down and 10. They'll give the ball up the middle of the field. Second running back of the day, and a pummel for 7 yards coming out for Dickinson State's number 21 again, and that's the new guy, Max Cattermas. Nope. That's the defensive number 21. Now they've got Jackson Simonson as the offensive 21, and on the roster, they don't show a defensive 21. So we're going to go with Simonson on that carry. And he picks up 7.
Trying to help the roster. I got the roster in front of me too here, trying to pick something up that we're not.
Yeah, these were all changes that were given to us just before game time. Here's third down and 3 for Dickinson State at the 39 of the Vikings. Simonson up the middle, got through a tackle from Gavin Gerhardt, rolls himself out to the 43. That's enough for a first down, a gain of 4. I still don't know how an artificial noisemaker is legal on third down here at a college football game. Well, I don't know how that's even possible.
Well, I'm about to go handle matters myself. I feel like I'm screaming into my microphone, and that thing's just drowning me out. But Dickinson State on the third down, silencing that noisemaker with the run.
Yeah. First down and 10 for Dickinson State at their own 43. They trail 3-0 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. 4 receivers. Madler dropping back to throw, has some time. Throws to the far sideline. The pass is caught, and a step made on the far sideline for Cole Gunlock, who had a catch earlier in the game. Ends up with a 10-yard run. That'll be just enough, I believe, for a first down, and it will be. He'll take the ball to the Viking 47-yard line.
Yeah, got by Malachi Torres, the defender there on the sideline, and got a couple extra yards after the contact, and that's going to be big here. Dickinson State, probably the best rhythm I've seen from their offense here so far.
4 receivers again on first down and 10 from the Viking 47. Again, it's Simonson up the middle, bouncing off tacklers, running through an arm tackle across the Viking 40. He's down to the 35. That'll be a gain of 12 yards for Simonson coming into the matchup for his first series today and changing up the run game, and now Dickinson State wants to go up tempo. Madler waiting for a snap. The Vikings were not yet set. Simonson will take it, runs up the middle, took a big hit, was able to kind of get through, put his hand on the turf, and spun his way through all the way up to the 26 of the Vikings, which will be just shy of a first down.
Timeout here for Valley City State. Dickinson State just running it down their throat right now.
20 seconds on the game clock.
Now, are they going to... Now, they took a timeout, but did they take a timeout before the snap? Because the ball got advanced down the field on that play. I'm not sure when they took the timeout.
I think they're keeping 2nd and 1 up there. I think they took it after that run, that 9-yard run there by Simonson. But it was Dickinson was playing a bit of a hurry-up offense there, so it very well could have been.
And prevent the Vikings from substituting.
That's right.
Valley City State decides to take a timeout.
Well, it looks like they're keeping the chain down there, 2nd down and 1. So I'm thinking they took it after the run. It would have probably been better to take it beforehand, because then you'd have the chance to set it up. Good, smart play by the Dickinson sideline to kind of run that hurry up and finding some rhythm in their offense for the first time today.
So we will see the Blue Hawks at the Viking 26 and change. Looking at 2nd down and short following a timeout for mobility plus rehabilitation. Still in the game as the running back is Jackson Simonson. Madler out of the shotgun, motions a receiver from right to left. Takes the football back, wants to throw, has a wide open target. It's a touchdown for Dickinson State's Gage Gilbert. The tight end wide open in the flat after they faked the jet sweep motion, and Gilbert an easy target. You could see Madler check down on it, and the Vikings are down by a score of 6-3. We look at it again on our newsdakota.com replay, and you'll see the jet sweep motion froze the linebackers, and that just allowed Gilbert to go right past them, and he high steps his way into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Vikings find themselves down 3. As the Blue Hawks will attempt the extra point opportunity to try to make it a 4-point lead. And that kick is on the way. Looks like it's good, and it is. And we have a timeout for mobility plus rehabilitation with the Blue Hawks now leading by 4 with something pending. There is a flag down. And the Blue Hawks were stepping off the field, and it looks like they're still progressing off the field. They must believe this penalty will go against the Vikings. We'll take the timeout, and we'll come back and give you the adjudication of the penalty coming up here in a couple of moments. So stay with us. This is our coverage of Viking football on Q101 KQDJ-FM, and the first of our matchups here today from Senior Day. Our first Senior Day with our video coverage for newsdakota.com, and also today on our website, newsdakota.com, and the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Well, we welcome you back to kind of the most discombobulated game. The Vikings were called for a personal foul on that extra point opportunity, so Dickinson State will be kicking from the 50-yard line, and it'll be Chase Miller that does the kicking here for the Blue Hawks, and this one looks like it's destined to go into the back of the end zone and then some. Actually hit the very back of the end zone, so the Vikings will come out to the 25 and get their next possession started. Personal foul penalty against the Vikings gives Dickinson State some extra legs, And Gage Gilbert comes up with a touchdown catch on a throw from Will Madler. And that will make it a 7-3 game in favor of Dickinson State. We welcome you back to our coverage of Viking football today here on Q101, KQDJ-FM, and the voice of the Vikings, special sports presentation from KOVC. And the Vikings will bring the offense back onto the field with Noah Chambers taking the snap on 1st and 10. Chambers looking near side of the field and overshot his target. Looking out towards the near edge for a new receiver in the football game for the Vikings, number 80, Austin Johnson, freshman out of Anchorage, Alaska. And they just inside-outed that play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Vikings.
Definitely could change things here. The umbrellas are out here. It looks like it's starting to rain down here, so look for a bit of a change kind of in the dynamic. Ball's going to be wet now. Things are going to be a little different.
It also looks like the live stats are not working all their for those of you that were following along with that, those look to be frozen. At least they are here on our screen, so yeah, tough situation all the way. We're having a really tough day today. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 after a run of 2 yards for Ligarius Marshall.
Yeah, well, and we're going to continue hearing that noisemaker. It's been quiet for the past bit, but you know big plays are going to come here soon. And
well, it's good if it's your big play, that's for
right.
sure, right? I guess you can deal with it at that point. 3rd down and 8, Chambers out of the pistol with Marshall in the backfield with him. Run to the near side. That is Marshall throwing the block, and a pass to Nick Mears nearly incomplete, nearly picked off. It is incomplete, nearly picked off on the far side of the field. That might not have been for Mears. That was intended for Jake Deutsch on the far sideline. They were covered up from our angle, and Austin Heimer, who is a defensive back out of Red Lodge, Montana, was right there to get his hands on it. Couldn't quite reel it in. It looks like a 3 and out for the Vikings. They're going to punt the football.
Yeah, dangerous pass there from Noah Chambers. Obviously, you're probably okay with that falling incomplete and having the ability to punt, but Viking offense slowed down a bit here, especially since that first drive.
Jim Miller will punt it. It's blocked. The punt is blocked in the air, and it's rolling around to the 5-yard line. Dickinson State tries to recover it. Now the Vikings try to fall on it. The Blue Hawks will get it at the 5, and it will be Nate Gillick that comes up with a punt recovery. And so Valley City State's going to send the defense onto the field. Dennis McCulloch would like a penalty called on his own team because they were moving before the snap of the football. Coach Mack is lobbying on the officials down there, and a few of them are going to at least talk, but there's going to be no change in the situation. It's going to be 1st down and goal for Dickinson State just outside of the Viking 5-yard line.
Yeah, not often are you lobbying for a penalty on your own team, but definitely in this case it would help the Vikings. And getting around the coverage, I believe that was Dylan Dahlgren again who blocked it. I may be wrong, Ryan, but obviously Gillick on the recovery.
So on 1st down and goal, Simonson gets the carry, runs out of a tackle opportunity, drives to the 1-yard line before he's brought down by Gavin Gerhardt. Georgia Magneo was the man that was there trying to get his hands on him initially. And a 4-yard pickup for Jackson Simonson as we got a long course in how to pronounce Georgia's last name today from Loke Yese's mom. It was a really interesting conversation we had here in the press box. 2nd down and goal from the 2. Madler takes the snap, gives to Simonson into the end zone for a touchdown. The block punt ends up coming up big for Dickinson State, as we'll see a plunge into the end zone for Jackson Simonson from 2 yards out. And the 2 scores for Dickinson State come a minute and a half apart, 11:15 and 9:47 left of the quarter. And the Blue Hawks lead by a score of 13-3.
Yeah, tough to be down here for Valley City State. They looked good to start the game, and they looked like they were hanging around, and obviously getting the first couple points of the game was very helpful, but ever since then it's been all Dickinson State.
And so we will see the Blue Hawks come on to attempt the extra point opportunity. Kick is on its way from Miller. It is good, and it's quickly a 14-3 lead for Dickinson State. They respond from going down 3-0 to take a 14-3 advantage with 9:47 to play until halftime on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, and we'll come back with more Viking football on Q101. Special sports presentation of the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com. Dickinson State leading 14-3 over Valley City State on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Welcome back to Lock-In Stadium. Kick away for the Blue Hawks, and Evan Lorenzo will take it from the 3-yard line, and he called fair catch. And he knows it. So a fair catch taken by Evan Lorenzo on a kickoff. I was just waiting for the whistle for whatever reason. I think they got caught not believing that Evan Lorenzo would call for fair catch, but he did. Put his hand in the air. I'm not sure if he was just trying to call it, but it certainly goes up as a fair catch type of call.
Valley City State returner gave an invalid fair catch signal. Valley City State ball at the spot of the signal.
So it'll be first down and 10 for the Vikings from their own 5. With 9:42 to play here in the opening half, Vikings down by a score of 14-3, led 3-0. And since then, it's been all Dickinson State. 35-yard catch for Gage Gilbert. Jackson Simonson, 2-yard run after a blocked punt. And the Vikings now chasing the scoreboard by 11. And will have to get back to work from their own 5-yard line after the miscue on the kickoff. Legarius Marshall's the running back, and Noah Chambers is the quarterback for the Vikings. On first down and 10, pair of receivers, and they'll give to Legarius Marshall up the middle. Big stack as he got to around the 7. And Marshall may get a yard on that effort, perhaps 2, as the Viking offensive line tries to get him downfield. Another tackle for Dylan Dahlgren up front for Dickinson State. And it's second down and 8, a 2-yard pickup for Legarius Marshall.
We've said Dylan Dahlgren's name quite a bit today.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, this is a really good spot for Dickinson State. Again, have Valley City State deep in their own end. If they have another stop here, they're going to be working with another short porch. So big drive here for Valley City State. You'd like to see their offense kind of come back and find that rhythm that they started with.
Second down and 8 for the Vikings from their own 8-yard line. Shotgun snap coming up for Noah Chambers. He's got it. Student body to the left looking for a hole in the quarterback keeper. And Chambers out ahead of the 10 to around the 13. Gain of perhaps 6 for Noah Chambers on that. It's a manageable third down coming up. Looking at around third down and perhaps 2. Perhaps 3, depending upon the spot. It looks like it'll be third down, a long, well, I'll call it a long 1, short 2. And the Vikings need a first down the worst way.
Yeah, they're going officially 3rd and 2 here. And, yeah, you need to convert right here. Can't really take a risk down in your own 20-yard line, but got to execute here on this third down.
So third down and 2 for the Vikings. Another blitz from Dickinson State. They twist up the middle and the throw is incomplete behind. A cut route across the middle from Jake Deutsch, who was running the slant. Rather, Dom Sotomayor was the intended target on that play. Ball was just behind him and rushed, so here comes fourth down. And the Vikings are going to have to punt the football again.
Looked like that offense was lingering around. I thought
they're running the clock right now. I mean, he didn't catch that ball.
No, he did not. That's correct, Ryan.
The clock is running. They finally stopped it. A good 10 seconds came off the clock on an incomplete pass. And it's just been a really strange day today. Miller on to kick for the Vikings, and will kick it away. Driving, spiraling kick. And a fair catch is signaled for at the Dickinson State University 45-yard line by Carson Hunter. And so the Blue Hawks leading 14-3. A chance to try to put the game on cruise control here in the opening half. They have a chance to go up by a 3-score margin, currently leading by 11. The Viking defense will have to come up big with 7:51 to play here in the opening quarter.
Someone on the Valley City side
opening half, rather. Apologies.
Was lobbying, actually. I think they wanted a hold on the return. They're not going to get one, but it did look like one of the Vikings was getting held. Just something I picked up there.
First and 10, Dickinson State. Quick throw to the near side of the football field. The ball is taken in on the near sideline for the Blue Hawks by Christian Banks. Wide receiver out of White Plains, Maryland, comes up with a catch for an 8-yard pickup. Very quick hitch and go on the near side of the field. New running back in the game as well for Dickinson State, Bennett Ferris, who is listed as, oh no, wait, correction, we had a number 33 that was given to us as well. That's going to be Ty Dossinger, who's the running back, who's the Dickinson State native. Dossinger gets the football and takes on Loke Yesse, and Yesse will spin him down ahead of the 45, but it's enough for a first down. A pickup of 3 for Ty Dossinger. And again, it's very abnormal to get numbers changes in a college football game just before kickoff, but we did today.
Well, especially you talk about this is game 9 for Dickinson State, and again, we were battling with a lot of the numbers on the website too, so we've been putting in our time today, Ryan.
It's been a rough afternoon, folks. Under 7 to play. First and 10 for the Blue Hawks from the Viking 44. 4 receivers. Madler dropping back under pressure. Got a block, rolling left side, throws, and he's got Samaj Clark at the Viking 20, who makes a couple of men miss at the 15 and is down to the 13-yard line. Samaj Clark getting free again. 600 yards on 30 catches. This guy averages 20 yards a grab, and that's the reason he works back to his quarterback and takes it to the Viking 13.
Yeah, he found himself wide open there on the sideline and got a couple extra yards after the catch. And again, Dickinson State in the red zone here. Their offense has really been smooth. They've been hurrying up. They've been changing the looks on Valley City, and they've found their rhythm for sure.
Madler from the 13 on first down and 10. Dossinger looking up the middle, hit as he got to around the 12 and is down minimal gain. May get the 10-yard line, it looks like, on a spot forward, so perhaps a pickup of 3 for Ty Dossinger. And we'll see a tackle coming in there from Georgie Magneo. It'll be a second down and 7 coming up for Dickinson State.
Yeah, and if you're Valley City State, you obviously have to recognize that run. Again, quick play there. I think they're going to blow it dead.
Yeah, we're going to see a whistle here. The Vikings may have called for timeout again. So the Vikings will call for timeout. This will be their second timeout of the opening half. Dickinson State with a second down and 7 from the Viking 10-yard line when we continue. The Blue Hawks leading by a score of 14-3 over the Vikings on our LaRue Rocco Financial scoreboard. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking football. We're back with more next on Q101.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you...
Apologies for the false start on that one, folks. Welcome back to Viking football. We're at the 10-yard line. Valley City State. Dickinson State has the football, leading by a score of 14-3 as we get moving with the final 5 minutes and 37 seconds of this opening half. And Dickinson State already scoring twice in the quarter, looking to score for a third time. Madler will give this football away to Jackson Simonson, who breaks out of a pile and goes to the end zone from 10 yards out for a Dickinson State touchdown. The touchdown will come at 5:32 of the second quarter, and Dickinson State has put 3 touchdowns on the board in less than 6 minutes of game time, and they now take a 20-3 lead over the Vikings.
Yeah, just again, this Dickinson State offense has found another gear here, and after the first field goal by Valley City, it's been all Blue Hawks here in this second quarter.
And we'll see the Blue Hawks on for the extra point. Chase Miller looking to kick this one away, and he does, and the Vikings are down by 18 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard with 5:32 to play in the opening half. It's Dickinson State 21, the Vikings 3. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking football.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Welcome back to Viking football from Locken Stadium, Shelley Ellig Field here in Valley City. Dickinson State's taken some of the air out of the Vikings' sails. It's 21-3. The Vikings find themselves down 18 after leading 3-0. The Vikings have given up 3 second quarter touchdowns, a blocked punt, also factored into that, and the Vikings have not been able to hold the football in their latest offensive drives. Chase Miller will kick it away. Xavier Westbrook will pick up the football and run it back from the 8-yard line and runs into a wall at the 22 and is shoved backwards. And he'll be down at the 23 officially, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Vikings. And you take a look at the last two scores for Dickinson State. The blocked punt, you got that. And then the inadvertent fair catch signal that gave the Blue Hawks the ball at the 45-yard line. Now, eventually, the defense has to come up with a stop, but the Vikings have put themselves in some bad field position situations here in the second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to go probably back to how that first quarter looked. They were playing well on defense. They were playing well on offense, had some rhythm, but it seems to have sputtered out here for the Vikings.
Noah Chambers, play action, wants to throw. Steps back, throws right side, has a man. Pass is caught. It's Austin Richter for Valley City State, who spins out ahead of the 45 to around the 47. Richter, one of those seniors that was honored today. 6'6" tight end out of Hazen, North Dakota, and he's got a Viking first down to the Viking 49-yard line.
Yeah, gets the fans up a little bit here, and if you're Valley City, you get one back here. You know, you go to the locker room, maybe down what? You go down 11 here-ish, and suddenly it doesn't look all that bad. But
manageable two-score game, right? That's what you want. Get into a two-score situation and see if you can own the second half. Richter in motion. They'll give it away up the middle to Colby Jones, who gets stuck as he gets to midfield. Maybe the 49. We'll see where he ends up with the spot. Stop coming in from the linebacker core for Dickinson State. And they've got some subs, as we mentioned, that do a really good job for them. That's Jamin Medlock, defensive back, actually, out of Billings, Montana. But this is a team for Dickinson State that can stay stout defensively all day because they run bodies off the bench that have all accumulated 20, 21, 22 tackles this year. And so you've really got to wear them down deep to wear them down at all. Second down and 8, play action throw, and Richter's open in the near side flat. Looking to put a move on, hit, steps forward, the 41. Very close to a first down. They're going to give it to him. Austin Richter comes up with a first down take on the catch. Finally stopped on the near side by Austin Heimer for Dickinson State. But another first down for the Vikings, now to the Dickinson State 41.
Yeah, and this is the offense that the Vikings kind of had in the first quarter rather. And then on that one drive where they found Deutsch for a couple catches, Richter picking up a couple catches here, kind of finding that wind that was taken out of the sails, like you said, Ryan.
First down and 10 for Valley City State. 3 receivers, and back in the game, Trent Finney is a tight end. They run a little counter play, and Finney takes the ball on a catch. He gets held up, though, right at the point of attack, and is down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. They made it look like it was going to be a run counter with Finney pulling to throw the block, but Finney slipped down to the flat, made the catch, and it just fooled no one. A host of pursuit down the field that time from Dickinson State. Second down and 10 for the Vikings at the 41.
Yeah, luckily not going to lose any yardage here if you're Valley City State. So you got a second and 10 here. I'm going to see them look to pass the ball again. I like the offense when they've been passing has been a lot more smooth and better rhythm.
Noah Chambers under duress on second down, rolls away from it. Now he's going to take off and run with the football and steps on the boundary. Just fooled a Blue Hawk who took a dive at him on the far side. That was Austin Heimer, and Chambers put a shoulder shake on as he got to the boundary, and Heimer dove at him and just kept flying out of bounds. 8-yard pickup on that play for Chambers, and it's third down and 2.
Yeah, third down and 2. Absolutely in fourth down territory, in my opinion, here. So, you know, you want to convert here, but if you get one, then you have the opportunity. We've seen him do the tush push quite a bit here, Ryan. So still probably 2 plays to chip away at these 2 yards.
I think down 18, you're going for it. On third down, Chambers, his own number, hit right at the line of scrimmage and driven back. And so here comes fourth down for Valley City State, but I don't think you can kick the field goal from this range. You're talking about a 50-yarder, 51-yarder. Punting here does nothing for you, so you're going to run a fourth down play on fourth down and 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Vikings go with the same personnel grouping here. And now I believe a timeout's been taken, and maybe the third one for Valley City State. It'll be the 2-minute timeout, rather. That's a new angle on college football that I'm still adjusting to. 2-minute timeout for the Vikings, so we'll see what they come up with out of the 2-minute timeout. And our timeout brought to you by Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. It's an 18-point lead for Dickinson State, 21-3 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Viking football continues next.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Two-minute timeout. The Vikings down 21-3 to Dickinson State University. Welcome back to Viking football. Ryan Cunningham, Avery Thorsgaard is perhaps going to come onto the field here. Nope, Noah Chambers will stay in the game. They usually do the tush push with him. Jaden Babiak to my right today. Ellie Tombarge with the video work. And are we going to see the tush push here with Noah Chambers? Dickinson State loads up with 10 in the box here. Chambers under center. And now steps back and perhaps audibles, and I don't know. Yeah, he didn't get it.
No.
The snap came out. It looked like it was a ground ball kind of snap anyway.
I was surprised.
Spot's going to have him a yard short.
Yeah. I was surprised that's what they went with 4th and 2. That's a long tush push.
I got to tell you, I'd have bootlegged something. I mean, Noah Chambers has been running well, right? I mean, you got 2 yards, you maybe sell the play action, bootleg him, and then give him an RPO and see if he can make something happen with his legs. And instead, they went tush push with Noah Chambers, and it never really came together right. So a 1-yard pickup for Noah, the ball at the 32. And here comes Dickinson State with a chance to go up by big numbers, leading 21-3 with the clock down to 1:57 to go here in the opening half. Madler waiting for a snap out of the shotgun. Will face some pressure, throws, and the pass is incomplete. Nearly picked. Emmanuel Spy had a great vertical leap trying to go up and snare that one out of the air. It was intended for Adrian Calderon, who stepped in as a wide receiver now for Dickinson State. 9 catches for 147 yards in the season. Boy, he and Samaj Clark, when these guys make passes, they're downfield passes. 9 for 147. You're talking about 15 a crack. Samaj Clark, 30 catches for 609, 20 a crack. This is a Dickinson State team that can gouge you in the passing game easy. Jackson Simonson up the middle, hard hit, picks up 4, dives across the 35 to the 36. See a stop from Mosiah Rogers Taval. And here comes a 3rd down and 6 for Dickinson State.
And this is a good opportunity here for Valley City State. I don't think Dickinson's in any hurry to run this play here on 3rd and 6. Because then you're looking at a punt. But again, you talked about those deep threats. Look to see them go to one of those right here.
3rd down and 6. They'll give the football away to Simonson. He's got a broken tackle, 1st down. Runs off left tackle, finds his way to the 43, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down for Dickinson State. And now it would appear that the Blue Hawks are going to call for timeout.
Dickinson State University.
So the Blue Hawks will call for timeout. We'll keep it here. It's a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. And the Vikings currently trailing by a score of 21-3. Last night, the Viking women sweeping Dickinson State in volleyball, 3 sets to none. They'll take on Bellevue this coming Friday down at Bellevue University in the next round of the NSA tournament. University of Jamestown will be the 2 seed in that tournament. The Vikings are the 4. Bellevue is the top seed in the tournament after they exchanged sweeps with the University of Jamestown in the regular season and had point differential tiebreakers. Earlier today, the Highlander volleyball team with a win over Grand Forks Central. And the Highlander volleyball team moves on to take on Fargo Davies coming up on Tuesday night. And in the infinite wisdom of the Eastern Dakota Conference, which we know and love, the first 2 rounds of that tournament this year will be at the home sites of the higher seeds because they don't want to spend any money on a neutral site tournament. That's an editorial that is not fact, but it's an editorial based on previous facts and evidence. 1st down and 10 for Dickinson State from the 43, their own. Madler takes the snap, little 2-step back pedal, throws over the middle. And his pass is caught by Kyle Meineke, who ducks out of bounds ahead of midfield and right at the yards to gain line at the Viking 47. It's a 1st and 10 for Dickinson State. Clock down to 1:10 to go.
Yeah, and good on him to step out there, stop the clock. Madler's just been finding who he wants all 2nd quarter here. And Dickinson State, again, they've been running their offense well. It's been quick, so they definitely have the opportunity here to get to the end zone before the half. And Valley City State needs to come up with a stop here, Ryan.
1st down and 10. Play action. Madler to throw over the middle. Had Samaj Clark, but missed him to Samaj Clark's backside. Clark was unable to spin back and grab the football. Samaj Clark was not a starter in the game out at Dickinson State, which was surprising because he had the same kind of numbers that he does now, but he was in the starting lineup today. He's been targeted a handful of times. They didn't target him a lot at Dickinson State, but that had something to do with the fact that the wind was about a 50-mile-per-hour northwest wind that day. That's when the wildfires broke in North Dakota. Madler looking at a blitz, throws away from it left side, and he found Simonson out of the backfield. Took a big hit up at the Viking 31, but it's enough for an 18-yard pickup and a Dickinson State first down.
Yeah, big hit there by Emmanuel Spivey. It was number 21 on 21, and they both went down hard. And another first down here for Dickinson State. They've been having some success in the pass game here.
And that's why you go out and you get yourself a Division II transfer quarterback, and he's a guy from Bismarck, so they were familiar with him in the form of Will Madler. Madler takes the snap, looking to throw left side. Samaj Clark, bobbling catch, but has it and is out of bounds just ahead of the Viking 20 for about a 9-yard pickup, clock down to 56 seconds.
He's just picking the defense apart here, Will Madler is, and finding a plethora of weapons. We talked about the depth on this Dickinson State defense, but it's also on the offense. You have weapons to work with, and Will Madler has kind of gotten everyone involved in the game here.
Second down and 1 with the clock at 56 seconds and stop. They'll give this one away to Jackson Simonson, big hole up the middle, and Simonson across the 15 down to the Viking 12, where it's another first down for the Blue Hawks. Clock will halt with 46 seconds, and Dickinson State may have chosen to take another timeout.
50 seconds on the game clock. It will start. Am I ready for play?
Well, they're asking for the game clock to be reset to 50 seconds, so they'll do that. And 3 receivers, twins to the left. Clock gets moving on first down and 10 for the Blue Hawks. A throw to the far side of the end zone. All pass caught. Samaj Clark goes up and gets it at the apex of his leap and brings it down for a touchdown over Emmanuel Spivey. What a play. And the Vikings find themselves down 27-3.
That was, I got one word for that drive, Ryan. It was impressive.
Yeah,
Working with the clock. Barely a minute. Lasted barely a minute, and obviously finishes off with a good catch there by Samaj Clark over Emmanuel Spivey, who actually had the opportunity for an interception early in that drive, but went through his fingers, and then Dickinson takes it to the house.
Kick on the way for Chase Miller, and it's good. Let's take a look at that play again on the newsdakota.com replay, and you're going to see on the far side of your screen, up on the top of your screen, where Samaj Clark comes up with his catch. Madler puts it there, and Spivey thought he had it timed, and that's just getting a foot down, spinning while you're in the air to come up and make that catch, and that's a big-time play for Samaj Clark. To make it 28-3 Vikings, and Locken Stadium is pretty quiet with 44 seconds left to go here in the opening half.
Yeah, tough here for the crowd. Obviously, senior night, kind of not really how you want it to go.
Well, you got the weather issue already, right? I mean, it's cold and drizzly out there. We've had in and out rain. It's not raining right now, but we've had in and out rain, and you had a good first quarter. I mean, you took the lead here early in the second quarter. All the scoring's been in the second quarter, but 4 touchdowns for Dickinson State that will span about 10 and a half minutes to make it 28-3 from a 3-0 Viking lead. Kick is away from Chase Miller short. Xavier Westbrook from the 12, setting up a middle return, runs into a crowd and is spun down at the 30-yard line. So the Vikings 39 seconds to work with, 1 timeout. And probably, I don't know what you do here if you're Valley City State. If you try to stretch the field and don't complete a pass in bounds, Dickinson State's sitting there with 2 timeouts in the pocket, and they may use them, and I don't know. I mean, you may try to get the football back here at some point. I'm not sure if you would or not, but it's an interesting situation. So you have to be careful with what you do here. First down and 10. Snap taken by Noah Chambers. Rolling right side, throws back foot, and it's incomplete. He wanted Nick Mears. That was deflected. Nate Gillick getting out there, applying some pressure, as was Dylan Dahlgren. Those 2 men have been impressive up on the defensive line and secondary. Second level, I should say. Gillick's a linebacker all throughout the day.
Nate Gillick also part of that Dickinson State baseball team, Ryan, and yeah, big good athlete there for them. And again, just kind of what you're talking about here, throwing an incomplete pass stops the clock. Dickinson State 2 timeouts. You can be aggressive if you're Dickinson State here with your timeouts and get the ball back, but you got to be aggressive if you're Valley City 2, down 25.
Second down and 10. Noah Chambers trying his own number, down to a knee as he got to the 30 for no gain. And this will tell the story here for Dickinson State, clock moving. If they want to force a Viking punt, they can, but it doesn't look like Dickinson State wants to do that. When you're on the road, sometimes you got a 28-3 lead. You're happy to just take it into the locker room and say that's a good 30 minutes of football. Looks like that's what the Blue Hawks are going to do, and that's what the Vikings are going to do. So we'll see the first half come to a conclusion. A first quarter that had lots of promise, but a second quarter that spun out of control after the Vikings took a 3-0 lead, and they will head into the locker room down by a 25-point margin. At the end of the opening half, your score on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard is the Blue Hawks 28 and the Vikings 3. We'll come back with our halftime report, take a look at some of the numbers, and we'll also catch up with a news update for those of you that are joining us for Viking football today here on Q101, so stay with us for that, as we'll bring that to you here in a couple of moments. This is our coverage of Viking football on Q101. Special sports presentation of the Voice of the Valley, Voice of the Vikings, KOVC. Video coverage at newsdakota.com and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering, we have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. Let us help you become our next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
Welcome back to Viking football. We reached halftime, and our halftime report today is brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good at Rambo. The Vikings going to need a big second half to make this one look good today, down by a score of 28-3 to Dickinson State. Ryan Cunningham along with our friend from north of the border, Jaden Babiak and Ellie Tombarge on our video coverage today. Boy, a great first quarter of football, 0-0. The Vikings found a couple of stretch plays, kicked a field goal, made it 3-0, and then the final 12 minutes of that second quarter were just owned by Dickinson State. 4 touchdowns Between the 11:15 mark and the 44 seconds to go mark, the Vikings had a block punt in that sequence. They had an inadvertent fair catch signal on a kickoff, and they just couldn't pick up a first down to save their lives. They got a couple there at the end with the throw to Austin Richter, but the Vikings, I guess with offensive success early that didn't continue, and Dickinson State just took advantage, and it's an aerial show right now for Will Madler as they lead by a score of 28-3.
Well, you can't let good teams hang around, Ryan, and I think that's what Valley City State kind of let Dickinson State do. You know, you missed that first field goal that could have put you on the board in the first quarter. I believe that was about a 40-yarder. You missed that one. Obviously, you collect the first 3 points of the game, but how do you respond after that? You can't go next drive, give up a touchdown, and then obviously the blocked punt, and then it starts to pile up, and now you're down 28-3. So for Valley City State, I think that the trouble starts when you let a team like this hang around, and obviously you can't go back now. You have to come out in this second half, and you got to play the best football you have all season to even have a chance of coming back, and a lot to talk about in that room right now for Dennis McCullough.
Absolutely. The Vikings trailing by a score of 28-3 as we take a look at our halftime report today, brought to you by Rambo. Now, the numbers that we have are behind. They're still working on getting the statistical categories caught up. They're still back a ways as far as getting those plays in, but we can tell you that at least at one point near halftime, Noah Chambers was 11 of 17 for 153 yards in the opening half. Couldn't get a ball into the end zone, however, and the Vikings had just 21 yards rushing at that point, whereas Will Madler, 6 of 9 for 84 yards. Most of that last drive is not in. He's probably going to end up somewhere around 130, 140 in the opening half, along with a touchdown to Samaj Clark at the end of that, so 2 touchdowns. Jackson Simonson, though, has become the story offensively for Dickinson State. Braden Zerhoff got the start. They make the switch. Jackson Simonson coming in there, getting some things done in the running game with 55 yards in the first half. But I take a look at the defensive numbers for Dickinson State. Dylan Dahlgren, they've got him for 4 tackles, 3 of them for loss. I'm assuming 2.5 sacks in those numbers. They don't have that up for us right now, but Dylan Dahlgren was a force. Nate Gillick was a force. I mean, the guys that we talked about that were going to be factors for Dickinson State, they put pressure on the Viking quarterback continuously through that first half of football.
Well, and again, it's another kind of coming back to that young offensive line for Valley City State. And, you know, when you can get pressure on Noah Chambers, when he's getting the ball out quick, he's actually throwing the ball quite well. But when there's been pressure, that's when we've seen the negative plays for Valley City State, whether it be a panic throw 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage or an eventual sack. So for Valley City State, keeping that defensive pressure off Chambers is going to be huge in this second half. And like you said, for Dickinson State, there are weapons on that defense that can get to your quarterback, that can lock your receivers up, and a lot of depth there, and it takes a lot to wear down that defense. So for Dickinson State, they love the position that they're in with that defense, not only in this game, but probably going into those playoff games where you're going to need that second string, third string guy to come up with a play.
And in the long run, this is going to be a matchup for the Vikings that's really somewhat tailor-made for Dickinson State when you figure that they've got a great strength in their front 7 defensively. The Viking offensive line, young, inexperienced, still kind of learning the job. But when you can put a pressure on a quarterback continuously, and then here's the story. Noah Chambers, every snap in the first half today, and looked good throwing the football when he had some time. Now, he didn't play a snap the last couple of weeks for Valley City State, and today they go exclusively with Noah throughout the first half of play. We'll see what happens in the second half, but Chambers looked like he was throwing the ball rather well. Good zip on the ball. He ran well. He moved well. If they could find him some time, I think he could be really effective today. They've just got to find a way to protect him.
Yeah, and you talked about the depth chart. They have the Avery Thorsgaard and Noah Chambers. It was back to that. Obviously, we were surprised that he was the first one out. Obviously, hadn't played for a couple weeks, but yes, he's thrown the ball well. And I like when the Vikings can get those big plays. I think it really helps their offense when they find those 40, 50-yard plays to guys like Jake Deutsch, or late in the second quarter, Austin Richter. I think those are the plays that kind of fuel their offense and get the rhythm going, and I think that's what they're going to need more. Again, in this second half, obviously you're down by a lot. You're down by 25 here. You got some work to do, but if you can kind of get that rhythm going, you're going into Jamestown next week with an offense that looks pretty good. And even though you only scored 3 points in that first half, they looked pretty good. And you go back to the guy who who is literally quarterbacking it, is Noah Chambers.
Going to be fun to watch that next week. That'll be the next matchup for Valley City State. It'll be at the University of Jamestown coming up next Saturday. More on that in a bit. We'll go through the schedule coming up. First, a break on our halftime report brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Our friends at Rambo have just a great eye and a great talent for making your promotion of your business or team what it needs to be. If you need promotional products or promotional apparel, they have you covered every step of the way at Rambo. They get it done right and they get it done fast, so the promotional items that you need are available to you when you need them. Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good. They bring you our halftime report here today, and the Vikings find themselves down by a score of 28-3 here at the break. Halftime report continues. We've got to look at some regional news for you coming up in a couple of moments, and then we'll bring you back to second half football with a complete look at the first half numbers, along with the schedule coming up for events for the Vikings over the next week or so, and there's a lot of things on the way. So stay with us, and we'll continue with more on our coverage of Viking football in just a bit. Right now, the Vikings are trailing 28-3 here at halftime. We'll come back with more halftime in a bit. News is on the way next. Do stay with us.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
This is Dr. Amanda Heck, physical therapist with Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Valley City, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Enderlin. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. From sports injuries to work-related injuries, neurological diagnosis, and pediatric development delays, we will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
With a check of regional news this hour, I'm Ryan Cunningham. Minnesota House of Representatives leaders say they'll work to find a power-sharing agreement after Tuesday's general election put the Minnesota House at a historic 67-67 tie for the first time since 1979. House leaders held separate press briefings at the state capitol Wednesday to address the tie and express optimism for a golden opportunity for bipartisan work in the House. Melissa Hortman, the DFL leader, said, "We flipped a coin, it landed on its side." Leaders said they're looking for a power-sharing agreement rather than opting to obtain a majority. Minnesota law forbids the House from having 2 speakers, but leaders said they have options like negotiating committee chairs or bringing in nonpartisan staff. Representative Lisa DeMuth, who's a Republican, said, "We'd like to find a power-sharing agreement. I can't speak directly to what it would look like, but everything is on the table right now." The DFL was set to caucus Thursday, Republicans Friday, to select a representative to negotiate the power-sharing agreement on behalf of their party. There is a critical need for more paraprofessionals in area schools. Fargo Public Schools say they're looking to fill 15 positions for education assistance. Jennifer Fremstead, the Assistant Director of Human Capital with Fargo Public Schools, says it moves beyond a job. It's a career and really fulfilling. Paraprofessionals play a pivotal role in education, she said. She said they're the foundation of the support and the instruction that is provided for children. They give that second set of hands in the classroom. Fargo Public Schools isn't the only district hurting for assistance. West Fargo and Moorhead both have several job postings. Paras at Dilworth, Glendon, Felton are looking to be added. And the need goes beyond paras at Fargo Public Schools. They also need more teachers. Paras in Fargo earn between $18 and $24 an hour. We'll have more regional news after this.
Whether it's turning into high school football games, monitoring the patterns of incoming storms, or catching your favorite talk show, these are just some of the ways listeners depend on North Dakota's AM radio stations. And we need your help. Text AM 52886 and tell Congress to keep AM radio in cars. This ad is aired by the North Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
A Bismarck man in his mid-80s pleaded guilty on Thursday to charges of child sexual abuse in a case that could send him to prison for the rest of his life. Gary Klein entered pleas of 2 counts of continuous sexual abuse of a child. Klein's pleas were entered in open fashion, meaning there's no agreement with prosecutors regarding a sentencing recommendation. A judge will have the discretion to sentence Klein anywhere between a mandatory minimum age and also a maximum of life in prison. Klein was 85 when he was arrested last year after an investigation into allegations he abused 2 girls during a period between 2019 and March of 2023. And a Bismarck man who pleaded guilty to 5 felony charges after investigators found hundreds of pounds of drugs and weapons inside his home in March, sentenced to 2 years in prison Thursday. Shane Britton also sentenced to 3 years of supervised probation following his release from prison. He pleaded guilty to 5 felony charges filed after a March investigation resulted in his arrest. The judge in the case, Daniel Borgen, said the sentence was a departure from a downward recommendation made by the Burleigh County State's Attorney, but more than what was requested by the defense attorney. With regional news, I'm Ryan Cunningham.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Rambo, a proud sponsor and fan of Viking and Highliner Athletics, has been serving North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota with quality logoed apparel and promotional products since 1979. With online store options built to meet the needs of your company, organization, or team, Rambo will ensure that the process of ordering is easy and accurate, and that your items are received on time. When you're ready to put your logo to work, give Matt a call at 701-680-9585. Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good.
Why choose professional eye care centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football here on Q101, special sports presentation of the Voice of the Vikings, Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Halftime is upon us. Final half of football this year at Locken Stadium is coming up in a couple of moments. Vikings down to Dickinson State by a score of 28-3. For those of you just joining us, certainly doesn't tell the whole story. Nothing after one. The Vikings held their own, kicked a field goal early in the second quarter, and then gave up 4 consecutive touchdowns in the second quarter of play to Dickinson State, who finishes with 133 yards passing, which is what we estimated as they were calculating the final numbers. Will Madler for Dickinson State in the first half, 9 of 13, 133 and 2. 73 yards rushing on 9 carries for Jackson Simonson. Samaj Clark, 4 catches for 63 yards and a score. Gage Gilbert, a catch for 35 yards and a score. Noah Chambers was 11 of 18 for 153 yards in the opening half for the Vikings, but the Vikings rushed for just 21 yards in the first half of play. Jake Deutsch, 2 catches for 47, continues to be a leader for the Viking receiver corps. And Dickinson State will have the football to start the second half. And our halftime report brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good, as it's darker than dark nowadays here. Especially with the cloud cover right now, it almost seems like it's evening at this point. Evan Lorenzo will kick the football away, and it's a muffed kickoff return. Ball picked up at the 8-yard line, and the Blue Hawks will be down at around the 8-yard line to start their next drive. Good special teams play down the field, I believe for Tony for Valley City State, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's Khalil Tony, defensive back out of St. Paul, Minnesota. The returner for Dickinson State was a new returner, Jackson Wickero, freshman wide receiver from Miles City, Montana, and that didn't go so well. And it's 1st and 10 for Dickinson State. They're going to have the football at their own 8-yard line.
Well, coming out of the half, I mean, this is probably the best case scenario here for the Vikings. You pin Dickinson State deep early. You got to stop here, and you can kind of go back the other way. Obviously down by 25, but it takes some chipping away to come back from these kind of deficits.
We'll go ahead and start dialing in some college football scores for you as well throughout the course of this second half of play, as Will Madler will take the football on first down and gives to Jackson Simonson, who spins his way up to the 11 for a gain of perhaps 3 before he's wrestled down on the play. And we'll see a stop for Georgia Magneo, who comes up with a tackle for the Vikings. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Dickinson State from the 11-yard line.
Good first half for Jackson Simonson, going right back to him. He has 2 touchdowns already, and then 55 yards at the half, 6 carries, and they're going to go right back to him here.
Get it again. He gets an alley to cut through and work his way out to the 15. Started left and came back right. Big hole that was produced there up on the offensive line by Scotty Woodruff, who went down the field and continued blocking. Finally brought down by Mosiah Rogers-Taval, but it's a 5-yard carry. Here comes 3rd down and 3. This is a big play for the Viking defense. Let's see if we can get some momentum early here in this second half. 3rd down and 3 for Dickinson State, the 15-yard line. As we are just underway here in the second half, the Vikings trying to change some field position. Madler waiting for a shotgun snap, pair of receivers to his left. He'll take the snap. The Vikings bring 5 on a blitz, but it's picked up. And now a run to the near side, and Madler's going to scamper out of bounds at the 20-yard line. They'll say the 19. It's going to be just enough for a Dickinson State first down. And a Viking is injured on the play. It's Malachi Torres that's down, trying to chase down Will Madler from behind. And a tough situation. The Vikings brought 5 on that play, trying to get some pressure, but Dickinson State picked them all up front. And I'll tell you what, Will Madler had all kinds of time to survey the field and see what he wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Just takes the first down that's given to him here. Malachi Torres going a little bit at the leg here, I think. Looks like calf, and he was the one trying to chase down Madler. And like you said, Dickinson State blocked that Valley City rush really well. Yeah, it's going to be the right leg for Malachi Torres. Not putting any weight on it, but
now he's got a heavy wrap on that knee as it is. And so,
well, that's right.
Tough loss out of the linebacker core for the Vikings. They'll go down their depth chart a bit as far as linebackers are concerned. Entering the game, Riley Olson, freshman linebacker out of Hillsborough, North Dakota. Great athlete, and it's fun to see him get some playing time. He had a lot of success for the Hillsborough Central Valley Burros in football. First down and 10 from the 19 for Dickinson State. Madler, the snap, play action, going to throw. Pass caught, Samaj Clark. No, this is a new receiver for Dickinson State out to around the 32. That's going to be C.J. Stinson, who didn't catch the ball at all in the opening half. He's got 425 yards on the season coming in. That's his first catch of the second half. You wouldn't know, or first catch of the game, you wouldn't know they had more weapons to throw at us, and he picks up 11 yards.
No, we've seen a plethora of receivers here for Dickinson State, and add C.J. Stinson to that room now.
Simonson on the carry, and he'll be wrestled down by Levi Olson as he makes his way to the 33 for a gain of a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 8. Scores coming in, Missouri Valley, let's start there. Missouri State rolls up Murray State 59-31. Southern Illinois over Youngstown State today 37-33. Illinois State over Northern Iowa 31-9. USD, the Yotes, they defeat Indiana State 49-0, and South Dakota State pummeled UND today 38-7 up at the Alara Center. Second down and 8. Will Madler out of the shotgun with 4 receivers for Dickinson State. Gives again to Simonson up the middle, who took one shot, moves the pile, and the pile moves him. He'll cross the 35 to the 37, was down at around the 34 before he makes his way eventually to near the 38-yard line. And third down and 3 coming up for the Blue Hawks, but it looked like they might have had Simonson in some trouble there.
Yeah, and Simonson, a lot of room today. He's had a good game, but you have to know that's a lot due to the fact that Dickinson State's passing offense is quite a threat, so you have to respect that, opening up a lot of room for their running backs.
Third and 3, and Madler, a little bobble on the snap, but he throws underneath, and the pass is caught on a dive by Gunlock for a first down, as he'll take the ball up to the 45-yard line. He's had a handful of catches throughout the course of the day, and the drive will continue for Dickinson State. Top 25 college football scores. The Rebels, Ole Miss leading Georgia at the break 16-7. Let's go Ole Miss in that matchup. First down and 10. They'll give away to Simonson. Hit again by Levi Olson and down after a gain of 4. Indiana, 8th-ranked team in the country, leading Michigan 17-3. Kansas leading Iowa State 31-13, early third. Army ranked 25th, 7-3 lead over North Texas. Clemson trailing Virginia Tech, now tied at 7 apiece. Texas Tech on top of Colorado at the end of the second quarter, going into halftime 13-10 over the Colorado Buffaloes in Coach Prime. Second down and 6. Madler again, lots of time, throws underneath, the pass incomplete. Samaj Clark was the target. Gavin Gerhart was in on coverage. Correction, that was C.J. Stinson that was the target. And here comes 3rd and 6 for Dickinson State, another chance to get off the field.
Yeah, I need to stop here if you're Valley City State. And C.J. Stinson couldn't reel in that pass for the Blue Hawks. And another opportunity here for Valley City to get back on offense here. Obviously, this drive for Dickinson State is ran down the quarter about 5 minutes, but you're going to need to stop here if you're Valley City State at some point. Not a lot of time to work with, down 25.
Here comes 3rd down and 6. 4 receivers, 3 to the left now. Madler dropping back, throwing far side of the field, and the pass incomplete. Good coverage on the far side of the field coming from Emmanuel Spivey to lock up with C.J. Stinson, take the ball away from him. It's a nice play for the young man out of Fargo, North Dakota, getting there, putting some hurt on. And on 4th down, right now, Dickinson State has not made a move to bring on a punt team. The Vikings changing out personnel, but the Vikings have about 22 men on the field right now trying to figure out which group is going to go out there. And the Blue Hawks look to be going for it. We'll see if Madler kicks it or not. He can do that. He'll take the snap, and he's just going to kick the football. Nice driving punt with nobody back to return it. And it takes a pro Blue Hawk roll, the 10, the 5, the 4, and then kicked around and ends up in the end zone. And Dickinson State's going to give up the touchback on it with 4 different men down there trying to pick it up cleanly and 0 men pulling it off. And so the Vikings will have it brought out to the 20. It'll be first down and 10 as the Vikings get their first touch of the second half.
Definitely a mistake that I guess you can afford in this kind of game if you're Dickinson State, but kind of a bit of a mental lapse there. You don't like to see it. I know we share a press box with the Dickinson State. Well, what's that? Their defensive coordinator?
Their coaches up here, just their coaches up top. Yeah.
Definitely heard They were a bit upset after that went in the end zone for a touchback, it sounded like, but definitely not a mistake that you're going to want to make in a closer game.
Yeah, they've made few mistakes, though, today. They really have. Noah Chambers is on the field again for the Vikings to start the second half of football. Pair of receivers to the right, and Legarius Marshall is his running back on 1st down and 10. And Chambers will keep it himself on a zone read with Marshall and sneaks himself out ahead of the 20 to around the 24 for a gain of perhaps 4 yards for the Vikings. So Noah Chambers, and I guess, the speculation would be Chambers is the underclassman. He's the man coming back next year. And maybe you have a home game here and a road game next week, or maybe just this game to sort of put your future on the field and see what that looks like and give Avery the chance to play UJ in his final game of his career coming up next week.
Yeah, definitely a few possibilities for both these guys, so we'll see how they manage that.
2nd and 7, Chambers a throw, far side of the field, incomplete, looking for Jake Deutsch. Of course, the big game in Chambers' career was last year down at Waldorf. Down 24-0 were the Vikings at halftime, and Chambers came in and engineered a 28-24 comeback against the Warriors down in Forest City, Iowa. Viking defense finally got some stops, and Noah led the team to 4 touchdowns that day. And since then, that game, it's been sort of back and forth between those two as to who's going to play quarterback. 3rd down and 7. Chambers dropping back, throwing middle of the field. Has Xavier Westbrook. And Westbrook's on the run outside the numbers to the 20 of Dickinson State. He slips a tackle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State. It will go in the books as a 76-yard touchdown throw for Noah Chambers to Xavier Westbrook. However, Noah Chambers is down back at the 15-yard line and apparently in some pain. Let's take a look at it again on the newsdakota.com replay. I'm not sure if we'll see anything here as Chambers throws the football. Took a big hit on the end of that play and hit the turf hard. He's going to run off the field under his own power, and he slipped a tackle at the 15-yard line to get into the end zone for Valley City State, and the Vikings are back within 19 at 28-9. But there's an explosive play, and the first touchdown catch of the year for Xavier Westbrook as Evan Lorenzo will come onto the field to attempt an extra point for the Vikings and try to cut the lead to 18. Vikings get on the board quickly in the 3rd, keeping themselves alive in this matchup. Lorenzo's kick is good, and it's 28-10. The Vikings are back within 18 as they come up with a big play to get this one started here in the second half. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. Scoreboard brought to you by LaRue Laco Financial. This is Viking football.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News and World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. It goes officially in the book as a 77-yard touchdown throw from Noah Chambers to Xavier Westbrook. And Xavier Westbrook, who's shown us what he can do with his speed, had the kickoff return for touchdown against the University of Jamestown a few weeks ago here in that 38-7 win, and that came at just a perfect time for the Vikings in that game after Jamestown had scored to cut it to a one-score game. And Noah Chambers finds him for 77 yards and a perfect throw. And it's 28-10. The Blue Hawk lead chipped into a bit by the Vikings. Evan Lorenzo will kick it away. It's an end-over-end short kick, empty territory. Ball's on the ground and still loose. And we'll see. Dickinson State appears to have it back. The Vikings had a chance at it, couldn't quite reel it in. And it looked like the Blue Hawks were able to get it back and hold on to that football as it'll be recovered by Dickinson State along the near sideline. Looks like the Blue Hawks got that back with Carson Hunter.
Well, we've seen that one work for Valley City State earlier this year. It was actually against Jamestown where they kind of had that sky-high kick into no man's land, and they were the first to get converge on it. That would have been a big play there for Valley City State, but they need a big stop here. Will Madler, been picking their defense apart all night long. Got a big stop there in the last drive that led to a score. You got to do it again if you're Valley City State.
1st and 10 Vikings. Will Madler out of the shotgun. Jackson Simonson to his left in the backfield. Madler waiting for the snap. He's got it. Simonson cutting left side. Getting low, driving low, picking up 4 to around the 33 of the Blue Hawks. The possession starts at the 29. Vikings getting a stop on that play from one of 2 guys that have been great off the bench. Armani Smith, freshman out of Beulah, North Dakota. Aiden Russell is the other that has been very good for the Vikings up there in the front 7 as a reserve this season. Aiden Russell on the tackle chart with 35 tackles this year. 2nd down and 6. Simonson again trying to stretch the ball left side, and he ends up being brought down for a gain of 3. Levi Olson makes the stop. Ball out to the 36. Here's another big opportunity. 3rd down and 3. Vikings get off the field. They get the ball back halfway through the 3rd quarter and a chance to try to make this a game again.
Some life in the stands here at Locken Stadium, and yeah, big stop here. Big opportunity coming up for the Vikings. You need this one here. Senior night, this is what you want as a defensive player to make that big play.
3rd down and 3. Dickinson State at their own 36. Madler takes the snap, being pressured. He's hit, and he goes down for a quarterback sack. And it's Tequez Chapman that comes up with it. The Viking defensive line gets to Madler today, and Dickinson State will have to punt the football. Take a look at it again on our NewsDakota.com replay. Tequez Chapman, 4.5 sacks this season. Give him 5.5. Just works to defeat a block off of that left tackle and comes up with a big play for the Vikings to give their offense a chance. And the Blue Hawks will punt deep in their own territory. Mike Olson back at his own 35, and the kick is away. Mike Olson going to step out of the way, and the ball will roll down inside the 30 and continue to trickle to around the 25. And that's where the Vikings will take over 1st down and 10, their own 25-yard line. I don't believe the Vikings have returned a punt since that miscue at Dakota State, where Mike Olson had it bounce twice and tried to reel it in with one hand. And if it hasn't been right at him, they're just deciding not to go that route. They'll just go ahead and deal with the ball at the 25-yard line.
Well, they've seen some troubles on the punt and kick return. Obviously, I don't know what we call it, the false fair catch earlier in the game, but definitely rather be safe here, especially you're down so much. Don't want to make a mistake that puts you to bed.
Chambers with 3 receivers. He'll take the snap, gives it away to Legarius Marshall. Trying to stretch near side, stiff arm to man. 30, 35, 40 on the sideline, knocked out of bounds at the Viking 42-yard line. 17-yard pickup on the play for Legarius Marshall before he's finally flushed out of bounds by Dickinson State's Jaden Medlock, a defensive back out of Billings, Montana. 1st and 10 Vikings.
Looking good here. The Valley City State offense, out of the half, looking smooth, looking like they have a lot of rhythm, like they looked in that first quarter today. Finding what works for them for sure, and when Noah Chambers can get that passing attack in, they can also exploit them on the run.
Chambers stepping up in the pocket, going to throw, and he's got a wide open Jake Deutsch over the middle of the field, and Deutsch will take it up to the 33 of Dickinson State for a 1st down. That'll be a pickup of 22 yards, and the Vikings are very quickly back in Blue Hawk country.
Yeah, that's 2 quick plays, 2 big plays here for the Vikings. Noah Chambers passing the ball well, found a wide open Jake Deutsch, and it's his 3rd catch of the night. He's getting close to 100 yards, I think, Ryan. Maybe not that much, but
that one will get him close. I think he had 54 at the half. It's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Dickinson State 33-yard line. Vikings down 28-10 halfway through the 3rd quarter. Chambers dropping back, stepping up in the pocket again, throwing middle and can't find Dom Sotomayor. Overshot Sotomayor, who was covered pretty well by Austin Heimer, a backup defensive back who's been in throughout the course today, and that'll bring us to 2nd down and 10. But you've got Dickinson State on their heels a little bit here all of a sudden, the Vikings seem to have.
Absolutely, and momentum this second half. If you take away that entire first half, momentum is definitely on Valley City State's side. A lot of life in Locken Stadium. The Vikings moving the ball well, not having any hard time, going deep. They like going deep right now, and it's working for them, and see what Chambers likes to do here.
2nd and 10. Chambers stepping up, throwing a fade to Dom Sotomayor, who makes an unbelievable catch inside the 10-yard line. He's down to the 8 for a 1st down and goal. There's a penalty marker, however, back and around the pocket, and this one may be coming back. There's a penalty marker down, and a holding penalty against the Vikings is going to wipe it out. Boy, you take a look at this again in our NewsDakota.com replay. You want to see a catch. Dom Sotomayor giving up his body and going parallel to the ground. Chambers just throws a little fade, and Sotomayor goes up and just comes down hard and had an unbelievable athletic grab on it, but it will be all for naught as the play will be wiped out. The Vikings will lose 10 of the holding penalty.
Yeah, great catch by Sotomayor. Obviously, not going to matter here as they get called on holding. But again, this passing offense, they can get 20 yards here very easily, the way they've been moving the football, and Noah Chambers has been throwing it really well.
Second down and 20. Chambers takes the snap, going to throw right side of the field, and Jake Deutsch makes a catch. Jumps out of bounds at around the Blue Hawk 43. It'll be a gain of perhaps 6. And here comes third down and 14 for Valley City State in what is likely 4-down territory.
Absolutely, and especially with the way the passing game's been going. Again, I've been saying it. They've been looking good, a lot of rhythm with the passing game, and Noah Chambers obviously having no problem throwing the football today, and that's something we haven't seen a whole lot of with Avery Thorsgaard. He's more keep it on the ground, more of a Swiss Army knife type of quarterback, can throw when he needs to, but definitely prefers to use the legs. But a different look here for the Valley City State offense.
Westbrook in motion across the formation. Third down and 14 for the Vikings. Chambers flushed out of the pocket, being chased from behind by Gillick. Going to step up and run with the football, and minimal gain here. This won't be a sack, but Nate Gillick showing you his speed, catching up to Noah Chambers from behind. It's a gain of 1. 4th and 13. If you're the Vikings, I think you got to go for it. A field goal here has got to be out of the realm of possibility today. So Nick Mears checks in, and on 4th down and 13, the Vikings going to keep the offense on the field, and they need to.
This would be a huge play here for Valley City State, and for Dickinson State, just don't make a mistake, and you're probably coming up with this football on 4th and 13. And again, we've seen a few deep passes here for Chambers, and he's going to look again to go deep. He has a couple targets that he's favored here tonight, and see what he elects to do here.
4th and 13, he drops back, gets to 4-man rush, throws middle pass caught. Nick Mears, he's got a first down up at the 22-yard line. Nick Mears will haul it in. It's a pickup of 14 yards on 4th down and 13. I'll tell you what, the Vikings are absorbing some big hits from this Dickinson State secondary, but move the chains. The Vikings have a 1st and 10 at the Dickinson State 22.
Nick Mears checks in, makes it happen. 14-yard gain, first down. This is the Valley City offense we've been waiting, well, about all year to look at. This is impressive to watch, Ryan.
Chambers with 4 receivers bunched, twins each side, all in the slot. Shotgun snap, Legarius Marshall, the running back, to pick up a blitzer. Chambers throwing middle of the field. Jake Deutsch, he made the catch. It's a touchdown for the Vikings. Jake Deutsch making another athletic catch like he did down at Augsburg in week number 2 of the season, and the Vikings have made it a football game again. It's 28-16.
Oh, strap in. This is fun to watch. This is fun to watch. Jake Deutsch been a target all year for both Thorsgaard and Chambers. He's well over 100 yards now with a touchdown. Been really good. Extra point here.
Evan Lorenzo's kick is on the way, and it is good. And the Vikings are back within 11, and all of a sudden there's a lot of time left, and the Vikings have life. 28-17. Valley City State back within 11 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking football on Q101, video coverage, NewsDakota.com, and also at the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. The Vikings have come roaring back from a 4-score second quarter for the Blue Hawks that put them up 28-3. The Vikings have scored twice here in the third, including a 22-yard touchdown catch for Jake Deutsch a moment ago, and a 77-yard touchdown catch for Xavier Westbrook, and it's 28-17. The Vikings back within 11. Evan Lorenzo will kick the football away for Valley City State. And the Blue Hawks returning from the 8-yard line. They set up near side numbers, and at the 22, return man for Dickinson State, Ivan Ostry, Wide receiver from Rosemead, California is met and driven backward. And the Blue Hawks will have it at the 22. Let's go back to the catch for Jake Deutsch on our newsdakota.com replay. This a heck of a catch. Noah Chambers stepping back, looking middle. There's Jake Deutsch running the slant route to the post, and he goes up just a huge jump ball, holds on to it, and Jake Deutsch, such a valuable wide receiver for this Viking team this season. Big catch for the Vikings.
And let's not forget, that's not possible without a 4th and 13 conversion that was converted by Noah Chambers and Nick Mears. 14 yards, moves the chains, and then right to Jake Deutsch on first down. Cuts the lead to 11 here. This is a great game.
Jackson Simonson motions out of the backfield, takes a screen pass on the right side, will be knocked out of bounds by Micah Olson at around the 30. So the Blue Hawks will start off with an 8-yard throw to Jackson Simonson. 2nd down and 2. Now the Vikings need to stop. Really, you've got to maintain the momentum. 4:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter, but you still don't want to give up that long time-consuming drive to Dickinson State. Need the ball back in a hurry.
Absolutely, and time is going to be a factor here, obviously not as much, and quick play there by Dickinson.
2nd down and 2, Simonson up the middle. He's got a big hole across the 40, the 45 to the 47. Be a pickup of 17 before Gavin Gerhardt and Levi Olson make the stop. And now Dickinson State's going hurry up. They're trying to prevent the Vikings from being able to substitute and bring their pass rushers into the game. 1st down and 10. 4 receivers again. Madler his own number up the middle of the football field and runs into traffic and is down at around the Viking 47 for a gain of 7+. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, we've seen that look from Dickinson State a couple times today, kind of trying to run that hurry-up offense, and going to give Madler more room to pass here, and 2nd and manageable now for Valley City State. Now's the time you make the big play, getting over midfield here for Dickinson State.
4 receivers, 3 to the right. Simonson gets it behind a wall, drives forward ahead of the 40, down to the 39. Be a pickup of 8 yards, and Dickinson State inside Viking territory as Jackson Simonson, who's been the man as the running back today, picks up a 1st down.
Well, and you're going to want to hope you started Jackson Simonson in fantasy football today. 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards, has really been good on the ground for Dickinson State, balancing out that passing attack.
1st and 10 Vikings, they show a blitz, they bring it, and Simonson runs away from it to the left. He's able to spin his way forward for a gain of perhaps 3 up to the Viking 36-yard line. Little injury out there for Dickinson State, one of their offensive linemen, and they've got a reserve in on the offensive line. No correction, that is Edward Armando Calixto. Their starting was supposed to be left guard. I think he was playing on the right guard position at that point. 3-yard pickup for Simonson, and it's 2nd down and 7 for Dickinson State. 28-17 Blue Hawks, 2:25 to play 3rd quarter. And jumping up front, and you've got a new left guard because we just saw Edward Armando Calixto come out of the matchup. So they did replace him in the left guard spot. That's John Wetmore, sophomore out of Park City, Montana, that lurches. Could be a key penalty. It's going to turn 2nd and 7 into 2nd down and 12 back at the Viking 41.
Yeah, and Wetmore going off right away there, and here's an opportunity for Valley City State. 2nd and long, make it 3rd and long. You're not even in field goal range here if you're Dickinson State, so this is a huge opportunity for the Vikings.
2nd down and 12. And Madler will drop back and looks to throw. Fires right side, has a wide open receiver at the Viking 10, near the pylon on the run, and down at the 1-yard line will be Ivan Ostry, who's just in on the kickoff return, and Ostry will take it 39 yards to the Viking 2, and it's 1st down and goal for Dickinson State.
Yeah, lost his defender there. I believe that was Gavin Gerhardt catching up to him. And a big play for Dickinson State takes the wind here out of this Viking fan base.
Crowd had really been getting into it, right? Needed a stop, 1st down and goal. And the snap, they'll give it away to Simonson, who's bottled up and brought down at around the 2-yard line. Maybe just inside the 2. Clock to 1:45 to go 3rd quarter. But yeah, this is the possession where you needed to stop, right? You really needed to stop right here. And instead, that big pass by Dickinson State, they're so good at adjusting to the Viking coverage. Have you noticed that today?
Yes. Yes, I have, Ryan. They found ways to create offense on the ground, in the air. They've gone at different targets. Obviously, when you have 6, 7, I mean, we've seen how many guys make a catch for Dickinson State, and I think it was a little bit of an injury timeout there.
Yeah, and then they were getting prodded to come back out by Brian Yanish, who is our referee today. Second down and goal from the 2 for Dickinson State. Madler again with Simonson to his left, and they have a fullback that's offset off the center on the left hip. This will be Simonson running right side, stuck, reaching near the goal line, didn't get there. He's down to the 1, and here comes third down and goal. And this is a big play. You stop them, they'll opt for 3.
And you keep it a 2-score game.
Keep it a 2-score game at that point, absolutely. You come up with a stop here, and they'll kick the field goal. This is a huge play for the Viking defense. Can you bend and not break and keep it a 2-score game going into the fourth quarter?
Looks like a bit of a tush push for him. Oh, nope, never mind here.
Yeah, Madler's under center with
Yes.
men behind him, and Madler dropped the football. It's on the ground, and we'll see who's got it. He came out of his crouch too early, and the signal is fourth down. So Dickinson State got back on the football, and we'll see if the Blue Hawks decide to take the three-pointer.
Long look to the sideline by Will Madler. Let's see what they do here. This would be...
They're not doing it.
No.
29 seconds on the play clock, and there's no move at all. The clock is not running. Now they get it running.
You got to stop. You got to make a stop here if you're Valley City State.
We'll see if the Blue Hawks call timeout. They've got 15 seconds on the play clock.
No, they're going for it here.
Here they come to the line. They're trying for the knockout punch right here. Can the Vikings get a stop? Fourth down and goal from inside the 2. Madler with Simonson to his right. Madler dropping back, throws, pass caught, touchdown. Jackson Simonson over the middle of the football field. 2-yard touchdown pass. Simonson left open. The Vikings got pressure, but that's what the Blue Hawks wanted. They lured him into the screen pass, and it's 34-17. Dickinson State with 13 ticks left in the third.
Third touchdown for Simonson tonight, and first receiving touchdown for him. He's had quite a night for Dickinson State and wasn't getting it in on the run, so they elect to go to him in the air. And yeah, definitely feels like a knockout blow here at Locken Stadium.
Chase Miller will put the extra point through, and the lead is back to 18. 35-17. Dickinson State reclaims an 18-point lead on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. We're back with more in a couple of moments. This is Viking football on Q101. Special sports presentation of the Voice of the Vikings, Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. To get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Welcome back to Viking football, now 35-17. Dickinson State over Valley City State on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Vikings nearly a goal line stand a couple of moments ago, but Will Madler a 2-yard touchdown pass. After we thought Dickinson State might opt for 3, they instead go for the jugular and find it, or at least it would appear. 13 seconds to go. Chase Miller kicks it away. And we'll see if Xavier Westbrook's got that UJ magic. He sets up a middle return, slipped a tackle, broke another. It'll be a good return anyway, out to around the 41-yard line. And so the Vikings with decent field position to try to get this drive started and try to answer back. And try to at least, if you can answer with a score and try to keep this, tight early in the fourth quarter. But now this drive becomes so important because if you don't score on this drive, you're going to be chasing the scoreboard by three scores going into the fourth quarter, or actually already in the fourth quarter. Math just doesn't begin to work out for you at that point. 4 receivers for the Vikings with 6 seconds left of the third. And we'll see Noah Chambers take the snap, give to Legarius Marshall another big hole. He'll break out to the near side and got clipped down at the ankles at around the 47 for a gain of around 6, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter of football. So the third quarter draws upon us, and the fourth quarter is next. And the Vikings down by an 18-point margin going in to the final frame. We'll have it for you when we continue after a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is our coverage of Viking football on Q101. The voice of the Vikings, voice of the Valley, KOVC, and at newsdakota.com.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
Take a look at some of the numbers in this one as we go into the fourth quarter of football here today as far as the individual numbers are concerned. Noah Chambers, 16 of 25 today, 298 yards passing for the Vikings. 2 touchdowns, no picks. The Vikings, though, only 37 yards rushing the football today, 47 rather. And the Vikings back on offense, looking at 2nd down and 4, down by a 35-17 margin. Chambers rolling, throwing screen pass to the right side. Trent Finney makes a hook back over the middle. He's got a hole to work with. Got to the numbers, spun around to the 40 of Dickinson State and down to the 38-yard line, and Trent Finney will pick up 15 yards. Jackson Simonson, though, was the breakout star today for the Blue Hawks. 21 carries, 127 yards, and Will Madler so efficient. 14 of 20 for 201 and 3 this afternoon. Jake Deutsch, 101 yards receiving for the Vikings and a touchdown. Really, really good days for a lot of players out there today. Lights are on and in full effect here at Lockett Stadium. We don't see that very often. 4 receivers on 1st and 10. Chambers pressured, steps up in the pocket, going to run. Puts a move on over the middle. Made a couple of men miss and got inside the 30. Drifts his way down to the Blue Hawk 27. Close to a Viking first down. He'll have it. A pickup of 10 for Noah Chambers on the scramble.
Yeah, Chambers has been really good with the arms, so why not add the legs? And another good drive put together here by Valley City State. You got to work with the time here. You got, 3 scores to make up. You're down by 18, so you do have to go quick. But, again, you got to manage it and figure out here how you're going to get back into this game. Noah Chambers having no problem throwing the football right now.
Yeah, it'll be over 300 yards when he makes another completion. Chambers rolling right side, going to throw underneath, and the pass caught by Nick Mears. That'll take him down to the 23. Vikings will pick up 6 yards, and that'll be the one. He's at 313 before that pass, as a matter of fact. So Noah Chambers, a breakout day. I mean, well over 300 yards with a quarter of football left to work with here. And remember, this is the defense that is ranked 17th in the nation right now in Dickinson State. And the Vikings have found an extra step offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's just going to add to those totals because Valley City State is going to need to pass the football to get back into this one here. You got 2nd and manageable here. You're getting close to the red zone. You wonder if he maybe looks to the end zone right here.
2nd down and 5. Chambers in trouble. Throws the ball to the sideline, incomplete. Good decision by Noah Chambers. He had Trent Finney running in that direction, could feel the pressure coming from behind, and so he decided to offload it to no man's land and keep the football going in the right direction. The 3 starting defensive linemen were all in the backfield on that. Dylan Dahlgren, Wyatt Anderson, Matt Anderson, all 3 of them had gotten past their blocks and were running after Noah Chambers. And I can't imagine the fear when those 3 guys are all running at you simultaneously.
Yeah, well, a good smart play there to throw it away. Obviously, you don't want to lose yards here. You're still 3rd and manageable. You still have the ability to run it with Legarius Marshall and pick up a few yards, and they're going to go with it, the throw here.
3rd down and 5, and a throw to the end zone. Pass is caught on the near side. No, it is dropped incomplete. Oh, boy, Jake Deutsch had it in his hands, and he couldn't quite hold on to it. It was there. It looked like he came down with it. He was found well by Noah Chambers, and the ball just cannot be secured. And Jake, who had a great touchdown catch back in the 3rd quarter, going to want that one back all week this week. Here comes 4th down.
Yeah, and a great find by Noah Chambers. I'll apologize, Ryan. I got in your way out. My head was almost out the window there on that one. And
it's also the darkness, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't see the ball flopping around until it's out there at that point. 4th down and 5. Chambers dropping back. Blitzed, throws middle. Pass caught. Xavier Westbrook. He's got a hole. Got tripped up as he got to the 12. He's inside the 10, down to the 9. And it's 1st down and goal for Valley City State as Xavier Westbrook will put the Vikings in scoring distance.
Yeah, and Jack Hartman saves a touchdown there for Dickinson State. Kind of trips up Westbrook. Might have just caught his shoe or his heel. Didn't get a lot of contact, but Westbrook went down. But here you are, 10-yard line. Your 1st and goal here, 9 yards to get it. And you, again, still have a bit of clock to work with if you score quick here.
First and 10 Vikings, first and goal rather from the 9. And Noah Chambers thought about running, then throws the football in too high for a one-handed try by Trent Finney. Chambers started up the field, and I think he wanted to run, but realized it was closed off. And he put that in a great spot when you think about it. Even though it's an incomplete pass, back of the end zone, only his man can go up and get it, or it's an incompletion. And what better to do in an improvisation than that?
You said it best, Ryan. Only Trent Finney could have got that ball, and it would have been a catch of the year candidate at that. And good, smart decision. Noah Chambers really calm, didn't go how he wanted it to. I think, like you said, he wanted to take it himself, but kind of hesitated, stepped back, and tried to float one into Finney here. And you still got 2 downs to work with.
Second down and goal from the Blue Hawk 9 and flags. And the Vikings are wondering what they did wrong. Illegal formation. Vikings were trying to set up.
Prior to the snap, false start.
Nope.
Number 87 in the offense.
They're going to call Trent Finney for moving too early. So second down and goal now from the 14, which for a guy like Noah Chambers may actually work in his favor. That gives you a little bit of extra space to work with to open things up, and you don't lose the down on it. And, you know, here's the situation. Vikings down 18. A field goal doesn't really help you here. I mean, it's a touchdown 2-point conversion. It does make it a 2-score game, but we'll see what the Vikings do. They are going to need something like that down the stretch, so they might take one. Chambers dropping back, looking, struggling, steps up, now rolls left side, going to take off and run, turns it upfield to 10-5, took a hit as he got to the boundary, and is out of bounds at around the 4, and here comes third down and goal from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, good smart play there by Noah Chambers. He got a lot more out of that play than I thought he was going to, and good vision by him. You kind of get back to where you were here, 3rd and 4. You have a couple more options here, and again, this is 1,000% 4-down territory here,
Sure.
so you do have 2 cracks
Well,
at it.
I mean, the only thing, though, is you're going to need a 3-pointer somewhere, right?
Yes.
If you make it a 3-score game. And so you take the field goal here, perhaps, and try to play for another series, but you really want the 7, of course. Snap taken by Chambers, throwing to the end zone. Pass is caught there, 7. It's a touchdown for Xavier Westbrook. And the Vikings are back on the scoreboard again and back within 12. 35-23, the Vikings back within a 12-point margin. They come back for another score.
Yeah, finds Xavier Westbrook, and that's his second hit of the day. First one was deep to him, 77 yards, and this one a 4-yard, but a good spot, a good find there by Noah Chambers. He's just adding to his excellent day for the Vikings.
Evan Lorenzo for the extra point. Kick is on its way. Good. Vikings back within an 11-point margin again. 35-24, 11:29 left to go, 4th quarter on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking football on Q101 and the Voice of the Vikings, Voice of the Valley, NewsDakota.com. With our special video coverage, VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
You know, I think our luck has turned around since that artificial noisemaker went away. I don't know about you, but I think that was the play of the game right there. 35-24, Valley City State back within an 11-point margin of Dickinson State as Noah Chambers continues a brilliant second half on the quarterback side of things. Evan Lorenzo will kick the football away for the Vikings, and the kick ends up out of the end zone for a touchback. And so we'll see, or he called fair catch. He called fair catch, my mistake. He'll call fair catch, and so the Vikings will watch as Dickinson State takes over deep in their own territory. Noah Chambers, 20 of 32 on the day now, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He has been brilliant this afternoon. He hasn't even been around an interception, hasn't taken negative plays. He took the sacks in the first half, but Noah's had a brilliant second half today for the Vikings.
He absolutely has. He's been really calm, and even in trouble. We saw that last drive. He was in trouble a couple times and was able to get out of it, throw the ball away on one, and then try and float one into his tight end for another.
New quarterback in the game for Dickinson State. With an 11-point lead, they're going to send in a replacement quarterback. And the Blue Hawks will send in, I believe it's Jace Freeze that's come into the matchup. But it may not be Jace Freeze. It may be Carson Hunter.
Well, they're going right back to Madler. They're going right back to Madler
So
here.
Hunter came on and ran the football for 3 yards, and now Will Madler will come back into the game. That would have been a stunning development if you make the quarterback substitution with a game, a 2-score game. So Madler will come back in after a 3-yard pickup for Carson Hunter, and it's 2nd down and 7. 3 receivers for Dickinson State, and now we've got whistles, and Dickinson State may have jumped. And the Blue Hawks are going to move backward. This is going to become 2nd down and 12. And, you know, here's the math. You get a stop here. You get the ball back with about 9 minutes to go. And you find your way down the field and score.
With decent field position.
You need one more possession. I mean, obviously we're getting way ahead of ourselves because you've got to have a big play here on 2nd down. But the Vikings could have easily been out of this game down 28-3 at the end of the 2nd quarter going into halftime.
Absolutely.
And right now it's a game again. 35-24, Blue Hawks with an 11-point lead. Will Madler out of the shotgun, 2nd down and 12. 3 receivers, Madler dropping back, throwing screen, pass caught, Simonson, nobody out on an island to get him. 35-40, 45 took a hit from Gerhardt, and Gerhardt spins him down hard at the 45-yard line. But that is a big, big hitter for Dickinson State to move the ball out the middle of the field.
Yeah, Jackson Simonson just adding to his big day, and they'll update that stat in a second. But
those will be receiving yards.
Yeah,
he's going to be right around 160 all-purpose after that catch with 127 rushing yards.
And 3 touchdowns.
Madler out of the shotgun with 3 receivers. Play action, throwing near side. Pass is caught to the Viking 47. And then knocked out of bounds is Samaj Clark on the near sideline. Emmanuel Spy got to him. And Clark will pick up 9. Well, the offensive day is fun to talk about, but it's for naught if you can't find a stop here. And that's really the starting point for this Viking defense. They've got to find a play. And really what you need to do is force a turnover. That seems to be the thing in the game right now that the Vikings could use to turn the momentum around. 2nd down 2 after a gain of 8 yards for Samaj Clark. Madler takes the snap, gives it away. Another running back in the game now for Dickinson State. This will be Ty Dossinger. That runs his way up the middle of the field. Good for a 1st down across the Viking 45 and down to the 41, gain of 6.
Yeah, it's Dickinson State kind of going back to that first half where their offense was rolling, and you start off with a screen pass that really didn't need a screen because there was no one there for Simonson, and then you get the extra chunk of yardage, and now you're in Valley City State territory. And Will Madler, you know, we talk about Noah Chambers, but Will Madler has quietly went 16 for 22, 232 yards and 3 touchdowns of his own. So
been brilliant. Had a lot of time to work with. Taken 1 sack today. Madler will start a man. C.J. Stinson in motion from left to right. Takes the snap. Looks to get rid of it again. Dossinger, couple of side steps. Spins up the field. Got across the 40. Maybe the 38. Gain of 3. And it will be 2nd down and 7. Clock with 8:45 to go. You know, it's worth mentioning, Jaden, when you've taken a look at the scores. I mean, the Blue Hawks at one point against, I think it was Mayville State, had a 42-7 lead at halftime. Few games have they been in the conference where they've had to play 4 quarters of football to win it. So this is a little different territory for Dickinson State right now.
Definitely, especially because they went up 28-3 in that first half. And, you know, no life at Lock-In Stadium, and all of a sudden you score a couple touchdowns, you're back in it. Obviously, Dickinson State answered with their own, but this is still a football game for sure.
3 receivers. Madler will take the snap right up the middle. Jackson Simonson, big carry again, stacked by Gavin Gerhardt, but not until he crosses the Viking 30 and down to the 29. It's a pickup of 11 yards and another 1st down coming up for the Blue Hawks, who are now inside the Viking 30. And what they've done here is they've taken the clock down under 8 minutes to go. The touchdown came with 11:29, so 3.5 very valuable minutes and more coming off the board on this drive for Dickinson State, points or no points.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, for Dickinson State here, you think if you score here at least a 7-pointer, you're putting Valley City State to bed essentially. A field goal keeps it a 2-score game, though.
C.J. Stinson taking a screen pass, shook a hit from Emmanuel Spy inside the 20 and works his way down to around the 15-yard line. They'll say he stayed in bounds. This will go to the 16 of Valley City State. And the Blue Hawks are in the Viking red zone, 1st and 10 at the Viking 16-yard line with a 35-24 lead. They'll spot it just shy of the 15, 7:10 to go.
They're going to have no problem running the clock down. Take their time. They're I mean, you're expecting to stay on the ground with Simonson or Dossinger, or they've had a couple weapons, or Zuroff. We go up and down the stat sheet here. We've seen a bunch of running backs, a bunch of receivers targeted. They have the weapons, so it's going to be tough for Valley City State to force a turnover here, but that's what they're going to need right now.
1st and 10 from the 15, and a little throw on a lead that's incomplete on the far sideline. Trying to target Kyle Meineke on the far sideline, just tried to lead him out there and see if he could get a release against his cover man on the far edge, Emmanuel Spy, and Levi Olson was out there as well to bring up 2nd down and 10 from the 15 for the Blue Hawks. Shuts down the clock with 6:44 to go.
Yeah, Valley City will take any stoppages of the clock. Obviously, they still have all their timeouts, but they're going to need those for drives of their own or to stop Dickinson later in the game, but now you need a turnover.
2nd down, and Madler calling his own number, and he gets shifty enough to shake a hit, got inside the 10 and works his way down to the 9 for a gain of perhaps 7. Madler doesn't have a ton of speed, but he's shown you a couple of times he can sidestep you pretty easy, has good vision down the field.
Yeah, and he's elusive too, and on that one calls his own number, gets about 6. I think they're going to go 3rd and 4 there.
You stop him here. Will they opt for 3? Now, this is not on the 2-yard line, right? This is down to the 8. So you stop him here, you get him to opt for 3. Likely, still a 2-score game at 14 points at that point. It's a big down in the football game for the Vikings. 3rd down and 3 for the Viking 8 for Dickinson State. New quarterback again. And a cut up the middle and a touchdown run for Dickinson State's Carson Hunter. He started the drive, he ends it. An 8-yard touchdown run for Carson Hunter, stepping in to take the snap. And that one will probably put the writing on the wall. 41-24 Blue Hawks, the convert pending.
Yeah, it was an exciting second half of football. And if you don't go down 25 at halftime, this looks a lot different. But Dickinson State showing you why they're the 17th team in the country, putting Valley City State, well, again, no guarantees, but putting them to bed there with that touchdown. Obviously now a 3-score game again with just under 6 on the clock. And
Chase Miller answers, and the Vikings are back down by an 18-point margin, 42-24. Dickinson State leading with 5:56 left to go in the 4th quarter on the LaRue Lacko Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, and we're back with more Viking football coming up next here on Q101.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Welcome back to Shelley Ellick Field, Locken Stadium. Final time this season, as this is the last home game of the year for the Vikings. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Ellie Tombarsh. Great work again on our video feed from Ellie this afternoon. 42-24, the Vikings down now by 18 once again. Chasing the scoreboard by 25 at the end of the half, and they're a touchdown ahead in the second half. Levi Olson on the kickoff return as it's short, and he'll step out of bounds on the Blue Hawks sideline around the 23. Perhaps the 24. They'll actually say close to the 25 for Levi Olson. So now you're down 3 scores with 5:51 to go. And I don't think the Vikings are going to throw Hail Mary bombs to try to get one back. What they'll do is try to build on this momentum and get ready for the season finale next week against the University of Jamestown, which, after this half, I'm going to be interested to see how you approach it, as this game today has been all Noah Chambers. 1st down and 10 for the Vikings. Xavier Westbrook in motion. Chambers dropping back, throwing middle of the field, and Nick Mears got taken down from behind. They're going to rule uncatchable football. Mears wants an interference penalty, and from the crowd's perspective, it looks like early contact and Mears was knocked down. But again, at the college level, if the ball is uncatchable, and Dennis McCulloch is livid on the near sideline, but again, ball uncatchable, and you're not going to get the flag on that. So here comes 2nd down and 10. I think the problem is the Vikings have been hit for a couple of those this year where they felt like the ball's uncatchable. Chambers in some trouble, rolling away from pressure, rolling near side, looking back, looking behind him, and throws off his back foot in the general vicinity of Jake Deutsch. And now a flag is down on the far sideline.
Interested to see what this is here. I didn't catch it, Ryan. I don't know if you did. They're having a discussion about it, though.
Be a strange place to get a holding penalty, but you could see perhaps something. However, the flow was away from that side of the field to be a weird spot to find a holding penalty, but the umpire has lined up to mark yards off against Valley City State. He's set to walk back towards the Viking end of the field at this point.
There is no penalty on the play for an ineligible player downfield.
All right, so they were going to throw a flag for an eligible player downfield or an eligible receiver downfield, but nonetheless, no penalty. They'll wave off the foul. So here comes 3rd down and 10 for the Vikings with 5:36 to go. Chambers with 3 receivers to his right. Legarius Marshall in the backfield with him. Chambers sees the blitzer picked up by Marshall, throws near sideline. The pass is caught to the 31 by Nick Mears for a gain of 6, 4th and 4. And here comes the football game for the Vikings if they want to stay in any way relevant in the football game. You need 4 yards to pick up a 1st down right here.
Yeah, and we've seen him convert a couple times on 4th down, especially that 4th and 13 that led to a touchdown here. And again, ball game on the line here. Chambers has to find someone for 4 yards.
Colby Jones comes into the game as the running back. 3-man rush, quick throw, nearly picked off, and it's caught on the far side of the field for the Vikings. It's a 1st down for Valley City State as the Vikings will find a tight end on the backside of that formation. I believe that was Austin Johnson that comes up with the catch. Austin Johnson at the 41, and the Viking drive will continue. It's 1st down and 10 Vikings. Chambers dropping back again, stepping up in the pocket, looking, going to unleash a deep ball in the vicinity of Mears, and it's knocked away. Bit of a 50-50 ball on that one, and Chambers was hit from behind as he threw it. And the man that's down in the backfield for Dickinson State is Dylan Dahlgren.
Timeout on the field for an injured defensive player.
So Dylan Dahlgren is down for Dickinson State, and he has been the definition of disruption all throughout the course of the day, and great numbers this season, and apparently going to be okay as he walks off. Well, you take a look at the way that he's put together as a defensive end. That's a man playing a boys' game at that point, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. A physical presence for sure, and definitely probably a collective sigh of relief on that Dickinson State sideline. They're going to need Dylan Dahlgren. He's been a headache for Nowhere Chambers today, and will be a headache for quarterbacks in the playoffs, obviously next week too, and you need those players to be healthy for you coming down the stretch.
2nd down and 10 for Valley City State with the ball just ahead of the Blue Hawk, or rather their own 40. Down by an 18-point margin, 4:40 left to go. Vikings have had a brilliant second half. Chambers waiting for a shotgun snap. Westbrook in motion to the near side of the field. Dickinson State brings a blitz. It's red, and Jake Deutsch nearly made a one-handed catch. The things that this kid can do. He had his hands on a touchdown pass. The Vikings eventually scored on that drive anyway. He made a touchdown catch earlier in this 3rd quarter, or in this second half. That one, he somehow got a hand on it while it was behind him. Had a complete hip replacement. They never knew if he would play football in his life again. And this is the kind of guy he is as a sophomore for Valley City State. 3rd down and 10. Pair of receivers each side of the football field from the Viking 40. Chambers dropping back, rolling left side, has an avenue. Going to run with it. He got across midfield and reaches out with the ball to put it ahead of the yards to gain. And they got it. Oh, they gave him a terrible spot. They're going to spot it at the 50. He's a yard shy, and he reached out well ahead of the yards to gain. That's just a bad spot of the football in that situation.
And that was intentional that he reached that far. We spotted that from up here, and that was on the opposite sideline. And yeah, like you said, just a bad spot. Not going.
The Vikings are calling for timeout, and I wonder if they're going to ask for this to be reviewed. They're taking a timeout, and we haven't had a play reviewed yet today, but I wonder if they're going to ask for this spot to be reviewed.
And I think it's a good idea, Ryan. Obviously, if you don't convert here on 4th down, you're pretty much out of the game. So get the fresh set of downs here, and this should be an easy review if that's what they're doing.
I'm not sure if that is a reviewable play or not, but our referee, Brian Yanish, comes over and talks with Dennis McCulloch.
Valley City State, VCSU is challenging the spot and where the runner went out of bounds.
Yep, so they're going to challenge this. And boy, from our looks, I thought the ball had reached out to about the 49.5 of Dickinson State, or the 48.5 of Dickinson State, if not the 48, when Chambers reached out. Now, if his foot hit the ground behind that, we wouldn't have a great angle on that, but I really felt like his hand and the ball were about 1.5 yards ahead of the yards to gain when he reached the ball out to the boundary.
I thought he definitely had space on that sideline, and again, it's one of those intentional motions where you see him reach across that first down marker, and I think he still had space on the sideline. I don't think he stepped out. I think this should be a pretty easy review here, and a smart play to challenge, especially facing fourth in the ball game, essentially, Ryan.
Right. If they overturn the spot of the football and grant the Vikings a first down, still down 18, 4:17 to go on the other side of midfield. But like we were mentioning, next week against the University of Jamestown, was this your day to get a look at the future with Noah Chambers, then you go back to Avery for his senior year, or is the mix of quarterbacks again on next week against the Jimmies?
The replay system was not working correctly. There is no video.
Oh, wow. That is not not good for Valley City State. Sorry to...
Their timeout. Replay system
Wow.
is suspended until home team can get it working.
That's unfortunate to say the least.
What
obviously.
we're being told, if you couldn't hear, is that the replay system was not working. And, at the end of the day, if you're the Vikings, you're upset about that, but it's your replay system, right? It's the Vikings are the home team, and so if that lets you down, it's kind of on you, right? So 4th down and about 1 yard to go. Noah Chambers under center, and Chambers on the tush push, lurches. And the Blue Hawks say they have the football. Did Chambers lose the ball? I'm not sure what happened there. They're spotting the football, the 50, maybe 49 and a half. And we're going to see if we get a measurement. So the Vikings did not fumble, but Dickinson State thinks they have Noah Chambers stopped. And from the looks of it, I would agree with them. I think it's going to be by about 3 inches as they pull the chains across. I don't know if that was the greatest of spots either. They set the chains, and yep, they're short. And they're short by more than 3 inches. They're short by about 1.5 football. So Dickinson State will get the ball with 4:08 to go, and that should bring this one to a conclusion. And the replay system not working obviously hurts the Vikings, but I'll tell you what, the spot was a horrible spot in the first place, and the official that was involved there, you've got to be better than that. I'm sorry, but you've got to be better than that in the first place. Now, again, the replay system not working is not the fault of the officials. Hunter in as the quarterback for Dickinson State, a high snap to him, and he'll give the football away in the backfield on first down. And another new running back is in the game for Dickinson State, as the Blue Hawks will send in Caleb Rist, sophomore out of Minot, North Dakota. And a gain of 1 yard for Caleb Rist. It will be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, going back to that, the couple plays that led to Valley City turning over the ball. First the spot, and then the second time the tush push hasn't worked for the Vikings. And you said the first time, maybe bootleg something. Chambers has run it well when he's been in space, and I kind of thought the same thing there. You have the opportunity to have him run it or at least look downfield. He can manufacture something. So, again, probably not the preferred play call, I would think, from my eyes.
2nd down and 9, and Rist again on the carry. Down right at the line of scrimmage. Here comes 3rd down. Dennis McCulloch not using timeouts. Now, because the replay system wasn't working, the Vikings were not charged a timeout for the review. So here comes 3rd and 9. Clock will spin inside at 3 minutes. They don't have to take the snap here until it's down to about 2:35 or so. Something along those lines. 2:37.
And Ryan, a question I'd ask you is, who do you think is coming out for the final drive for the Vikings if they would get the ball? If Avery Thorsgaard would get the chance to close out his career here at home?
Hunter on the run for Dickinson State. Spins his way ahead of the 45, and here come flags. And we'll see what happens here. If there was a hit by Dickinson State or a face mask against the Vikings, it looks like there was a high tackle that time on Carson Hunter. His head was kind of moving around as he got towards the end of the play. But we saw the Vikings reacting very strongly as if it was going to go against Dickinson State.
Yeah, Mosiah Rogers-Tavau especially, he was pointing downfield. He was adamant, but discussion going on here.
Long discussion as well.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the Vikings are going to make a substitution that,
We have a face mask.
yep, face mask against the Vikings.
That penalty is going to be 15 yards with an automatic first down. After the play was over, a personal foul late hit, 46. So we will go back 15 yards. It will be 1st and 10, University.
So what happened there is there was a face mask on the play that is a 15-yard personal foul variety of face mask. That is a first down. The late hit then was after the play was over, so they don't even move the football around, but it is a first down. And Dickinson State will keep the football. The Vikings have sent in Jace Trangmo out of Wasilla, Alaska. Probably one of the seniors that was recognized today. He's going to go ahead and get a chance to come into the football game. We'll have a timeout at the 2-minute timeout. The Blue Hawks have to snap it once more before we get there. And the play clock is currently down to 5. And the Blue Hawks don't look like they're going to be ready to snap the football. Down to 2, down to 1. Well, now the Blue Hawks called timeout after they got the play off.
Timeout, Dickinson State University.
Well, you know what? Let's run down the scoreboard, why don't we? See if we can get a look at some of the other games in the North Star today. We haven't done that as of yet. Should be one other game anyway in the North Star this afternoon. So let's take a look at what's happening around the conference, if you will. And today we see nothing. Dakota State, Mayville State. They got going at 4 this afternoon at Mayville, so that game probably just an hour and a half old. 7-0 Dakota State halfway through the third quarter in that matchup today. And the numbers in that one, A.J. Donovan, 10 of 18, 168, 2 picks. Aiden Markison, 3 of 5, 11. Dylan Lamont, 3 of 6 for 7, 18 yards passing for Mayville State today. Mason Ullman, 57 yards on the ground. The lone touchdown, Tyce Ortman has a touchdown run. 48-yard long of the day, probably going to be a touchdown. So 1st and 10 out of the timeout by Dickinson State. More whistles. The crowd is becoming a little listless below us.
77, offense.
And we'll see a false start penalty against Dickinson State. There comes a point where, with the writing on the wall,
Please put 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
you would like to get to the pizza joint, if you know what I mean. I mean, there's just, there's that going on at this point. So yeah, 1st down and 15. And the Blue Hawks will try to put themselves back in position at the 49. And Carson Hunter steps up behind the line of scrimmage, communicates with his offensive line, and takes a shotgun snap. And he'll give it away at the middle of the football field for Rist, who will carry for 7, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2-minute timeout. We'll come back and put the final touches on this one in a couple of moments. The Vikings trailing 42-24 to Dickinson State with 1:56 left to go in the football game. And we'll continue with more in a couple of moments on Viking football next.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries, and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Welcome back to Viking football. The Viking VCSU Foundation Giving Day. The Viking Day of Giving will be Thursday, November 14th. Opportunity for alumni and friends to row with the Vikings, supporting scholarships at Valley City State. Scholarship donations on the Day of Giving, specific athletic team or programs on campus. If you want to direct them that way, that's coming up on Thursday this coming week, 2nd down and 8. And Ty Dossinger getting a chance to run the football. Hit from behind, and a number of Vikings will combine to make the stop at the Viking 37. And here comes 3rd down and 3. Dickinson State on the cusp of moving their record to an 8-1 mark on the season, but the Vikings were even or better in the second half, an explosive second half for Noah Chambers throwing the football today. Just too big a hole after halftime. 352 yards passing for Noah Chambers this afternoon.
Yeah, he was exciting to watch, and the Valley City State offense had their moments today, especially in this second half. But like you said, Ryan, you get into a 25-point hole. It's tough to come back from that.
3rd down and 3. And the snap taken by Hunter, looking to call his own number near side. Got a couple of blocks. Big hole down the near sideline. Cuts at the 10, is inside the 9. And it will be 1st down and goal at the 9-yard line of Valley City State. And they're asking for the clock to stop. It will. And we'll see if Dickinson State will take a knee and run this one out, or if they're going to try to pour salt in the wound here and go for more points.
At the 1st down, please set 1 minute and 4 seconds on the game clock. The clock will start. Am I ready for play?
You know, I take a look at Brian Janish's facial expression on that as he said the clock should have stopped, and I feel like he's scolding some people up there a little bit, huh?
Yeah, he's been in contact with the score booth. Yeah,
it's been a long day. He's had to do that a few times, and the replay thing not working, and I can see why Brian's a little frustrated right now. And the way he was looking at it, he's like, hey, y'all, on a 1st down, we stopped the clock, you know, so let's do that. Boy, Dickinson State not showing. They're not going to take a knee here? Well, they will. They'll step into the knee. All right, Carson Hunter's going to take the snap, step into the knee. And that's very likely the last snap at home for 2024 for Valley City State. Dickinson State will come off the field. The Vikings will not utilize their timeouts. And a tough day today for the Vikings, who got down 28-3 at halftime after 4 second-quarter touchdowns for Dickinson State. The Vikings came roaring back in the second half. They cut it to 11 twice, but just could not find that stop that they needed to try to get it back and make it a 1-score football game. And the Vikings are beaten today by a final score of 42-24. The Vikings will fall down to 2-5 inside conference play today. And they will fall. Let's take a look at those records once more, just so we can give you the accurate information as we get ready. I believe it's going to be a 3-6 season. Take a look at the standings at this point. Yeah, Vikings 3-6 now, 2-5 inside the conference. These are the standings coming into the day for those of you in our video coverage. Dickinson State 7-0 now in the league and 8-1 overall. And there's one game left, and that's the University of Jamestown coming up on Saturday afternoon next week. We'll have our post-game report coming up. Take a look at the numbers, a couple of highlights from this second half as well. So we'll do all of that as we move into our post-game report. Stay with us for that, and hopefully a word with Dennis McCulloch before we wrap up today. Viking football continues next. Here are the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, and also online at newsdakota.com.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. To get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Welcome back to Viking football today here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley KOVC's special coverage on Q101 KQDJ-FM. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Ellie Tombars was our videographer here today as the Vikings are beaten by a final score of 42-24 to Dickinson State. The Vikings dropped to 3-6 on the season. Dickinson State will improve to a record of 8-1. Blue Hawks now 7-0 inside conference play, and the Vikings will fall to 2-5 inside the league today with one game left to go at the University of Jamestown coming up this coming Saturday. And we'll take a look at some of the highlights here as we get into the second half in the post-game report. But I'll tell you what, Noah Chambers, 22 of 38, 352 today. If the Vikings aren't down 28-3 at halftime, this becomes a really interesting game in the second half today.
Yeah, absolutely. Noah Chambers played absolutely phenomenally, and of course, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. 22 for 38, 3 touchdowns, but he was elusive when he needed to use his legs. He used his legs. He was creating big plays for Valley City State, and you know what? He really helped fuel that offense, get the rhythm when they weren't, going so well. Obviously, that first half, late in that first half, it kind of sputtered out on them, but Noah Chambers, excellent day for the Vikings, and like you said, if they don't find themselves in the hole, it's a different ball game.
Absolutely. So a big day today for the Viking offense, but also a big day today for Dickinson State's Will Madler. 17 of 24, 246, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And then Jackson Simonson, that was the mystery the Vikings couldn't solve. Braden Zerhoff didn't have much success when he was in the opening half. They switched to Jackson Simonson, 22 carries for 136 yards. Pair of touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air today as well for Dickinson State, and that seemed to be some of the difference. As we take a look at a few of our highlights in this one with our newsdakota.com replays, let's take a look first of all, second half. This is the big one that got things started for the Vikings. Long throw to Xavier Westbrook over the middle of the football field, and Westbrook would go 77 yards to the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Then when the Vikings needed to stop, and this is where they started to turn some momentum, they came right back to it. They get the big quarterback sack coming in from the Vikings on that play. That was a big one for Tequez Chapman that got things going in the right direction for the Vikings. Later, Jake Deutsch making another big catch. This will look right down the middle of the football field, and look at Deutsch go up and get the jump ball. Vikings get into the end zone there. And then later, Xavier Westbrook, who had as big a day today as Jake Deutsch, with the Vikings looking at third down, and goal from the 4. They find Westbrook across the formation to come up with a touchdown there. So the Vikings really made some things happen in the second half today, but just too much from Dickinson State in the 42-24 win today. But when you see Xavier Westbrook on that last touchdown, both Jake Deutsch and Xavier Westbrook had 101 yards receiving today. 5 catches for 101 for Jake Deutsch and a touchdown. Xavier Westbrook, 6 catches, 101 and 2. And I'll tell you what, we've known that Xavier Westbrook has that kind of capability. He hasn't really had the opportunity to show it as of yet, but today he was able to show it throughout the second half, and the Vikings took full advantage. Just came up a little short after a first half that perhaps spun a little bit out of control for the Vikings, but they come back, had it down to 11 at a couple of locations or a couple moments, end up dropping the game today by 18 at 42-24. We're joined on the postgame report by Dennis McCulloch, the head coach of Viking football. It's so dark out there with the lights on. I don't know, man. This is a little different feel for us, isn't it?
It is.
It seems like a night game all of a sudden.
I agree.
You know, Coach, the 28-3 hole in the first half, I mean, for the first quarter, you're right there with them. You kick the field goal. You go up by a 3-0 margin. And then it seems like they made a change. They got away from Braden Zerhoff. They brought in Jackson Simonson. That was the one thing that maybe you couldn't account for. Will Madler's going to get his yardage and that kind of thing. You were aware of that. But the running game with Jackson Simonson, that's something that was a hard time for your team to stop today.
Yeah, I mean, they always Dickinson does a good job. They came out and started spreading us out. They're in doubles. They're, when they started to go in 4 wide receiver set stuff, spreads us out a little bit. And we just, got to find a way to make one of those plays. We're hitting the kid at the line of scrimmage. You got to make those tackles, I mean, you're bouncing off a guy at a line of scrimmage. You can't, there's not a play you design or defense you design when we don't make those tackles.
Sure.
And now he's making contact, and now he's getting 8 yards after contact, and that just can't happen. I mean, we just got to figure out that piece of it. It's a little bit frustrating. We played really well defensively, and we just missed some fits and missed some of those tackles that create their, now all of a sudden their sense of urgency. They start moving. We get a little bit freaked out. We don't stay within ourselves. You try to do something that's not there. That's what, again, they did a really good job of managing that piece. So, you don't get a block punt. It was just so frustrating. They jumped off sides. We jump. We get no call. They block the punt. That should not have happened, right? I mean, that just should not have happened. Frustrating piece. It's not that, we get the punt off and they still could come down and score. If you can't slow them down.
But it's not a 6-yard drive at that point, right?
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, so those are the pieces that you got frustrated with, and I probably got frustrated with and out of sorts, and you can't, I tell our kids, mind like water. I think I lost it a few times in mind like water, where you react appropriately and then go back to calm, and, had a hard time with that. My biggest frustration when you look at it all is just like we have a good football team. We try to, you believe you can compete here, and just really frustrating to come in and see it happen and go away the way it did. And I thought Noah came in and gave us some sparks offensively and did some really good things and positive, and we just can't find a way to get off the field defensively. So
the funny thing about that is that in the past you've had quarterbacks that can stretch the field, but perhaps not enough receivers to get open. And today you had both. You've got a quarterback that can throw a dart down the field, but Xavier Westbrook got open, Jake Deutsch got open, Austin Richter got open once, but it was enough, right?
Yep.
Trent Finney. I mean, you had some guys that can get open. There's some athletes in that specialty position for you right now.
Absolutely. There are some really good pieces that they did today, and that that you see some positive pieces for us, and it's things that we haven't been able to do offensively. Through being able to throw the football today. I thought our protection offensive line, I give them, they did a good job. Even though we had to move out of the pocket a little bit, but overall, I felt like they matched up pretty well and gave him time to be able to make those throws down the field, and those guys took advantage of it. So those are positive pieces, and we had some energy in the second half. We just got to get a stop. We got to get off the field defensively, and couldn't get it.
Sure.
You got to hand it to Dickinson again. That piece of it is frustrating for me. I've been here a long time, been doing this a long time, and feel like you want to get to the point where you're there, and that it's frustrating.
Coach, today Noah Chambers plays every snap. In the last couple of weeks, been Avery Thorsgaard. I know in the past when you've been in this situation, Game 9 has been that place where you get a look at the future. I remember a Jason Belkey coming in and running the fourth quarter against a Dakota State, and it's like, okay, we don't know if Chad Leake's coming back, so let's see what we got. Was that maybe the strategy today, or was it more, no, we want to stretch the field and do some things?
A lot of it's how banged up Avery is.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't practice again all week, didn't get a chance, didn't really get any snaps in, and it just, he wasn't going to be able to go at full go, the things that he needed to do, and so that was a big part of it. Is like, Noah's talented enough to do this stuff. Like we know he can compete and can do a lot of good things for us. So I think that's part of that. He did give us a little spark today, and some of those pieces that we'll throw the ball down the field and things he did, but really had nothing. The change had no only thing to do with Avery being hurt.
Sure.
I think in that aspect of it, and we'll see if we can get him back for next week.
The thing that's interesting about Noah, and I don't know how you manage this as a head football coach, but there's two Noahs. There's Noah competing for the spot when he's on the field, right? And when you see that, maybe gets a little rattled and hurries some things and
Yep.
does some things. But, last year against Waldorf, when he's going to be the quarterback for the second half, today he knows he's going to be the quarterback all day. There's poise, there's confident, there's check down, there's look Noah. And
Yeah.
that Noah's a really, really good Noah, isn't it?
I agree with you, and that's been the consistency piece that some of it, what I think, what Coach York would say, has been some of that. Early on, we go into the year going, hey, Noah's gonna, he's gonna be the main guy, and it just, for all the things that were going on, it created some of those pieces that. He got a little bit frustrated. The offensive line's got getting great protection. You're right. He threw a little bit earlier, threw out of sync. Coaches always have, hey, here are your reads. Well, Noah kind of got away from his reads too early, and some of those pieces he did. And all quarterbacks kind of go through that thing, but that's kind of early on and kind of created some of those problems for us. What we see out here today, when Noah can get protection and he can go through that stuff, he is very talented, and we saw it, And he took a lot of hits today that I know he'll be a little, get a lot of cold bath in tomorrow. So, but we feel like, and I said that from the start, it's like I had two quarterbacks that can start games and play and win games for us, and I still feel that both those guys have a lot of talent, a lot of things that they can do for us.
Coach, Warriors fight battles and Warriors fight wars. And every season you fight 10 battles because you're going to fight that army again next year, right? This is a war coming up next week because that's it.
Yep,
we walk off the battlefield and
right.
we're not seeing it. I mean, there's going to be a different tenor this week. Even when Jamestown was in the league in the past, we knew we'd see him again next year, and now.
Yep, that's it. You're exactly right. It'll be a big game, and there'll be a lot of challenges. There always is, and week in and week out. And I just, for our kids, I don't want to make it bigger than what needs to be. We got to go play well. Well, they're playing at a high level. They did a really good job their last 3 games after losing to us, and we know it's going to be a big challenge. They go over there. They had a week off. Those pieces we know, and so. We'll be excited to play last game, and we've won a lot of. I hope when you look at what we've done in the landscape of the last how many years, the record we've done really well. This isn't going to match. This isn't going to change that piece for me and how well our kids have played against them and how many games we've won against them, and we know it's going to be a great game, the last game, and it'll be a lot of excitement for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, this one was an interesting one today, but I'll tell you what, a lot of heart and a lot of determination. This team could have wilted pretty easily at 28-3, and I know football coaches like yourself don't believe in moral victories, but coming out and continuing to play the game when you're down 28-3 and outscoring them in the second half, there's something positive to be said about that.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm proud of our kids. Our kids work extremely hard and a lot of good things, and it's just my frustration is just spilling over because of the number of years that we feel like, hey, we're one of those teams that should be considered and looked at as one of the better teams in the conference, and you want to beat Dickinson, your best team in the conference. We just haven't had that opportunity to do that and get that done, and it does. It gets a little frustrating on my end, but we're going to keep battling. Our guys they've just been a really good group of guys and continue to come back and work hard, and I expected the same thing this week. So,
Coach Mack, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate everything.
Dennis McCulloch joining us, the head coach of Viking football, here today in our post-game report as the Vikings are beaten by a final score 42-24 by Dickinson State. And the Vikings will move on to take on the University of Jamestown coming up on Saturday in the afternoon. I believe it's 1 o'clock afternoon start over in Jamestown. We'll have it for you on KOVC. We expect our broadcast schedule's in flux as we get into postseason with some of the other things that are out there. But Jaden Babiak, final comments on this one today. You said this was a fun game, and it was fun to see the Vikings compete offensively today. It really was.
It absolutely was, and obviously, myself being a senior here, this was also my last game that I get to take in at Lock-In Stadium as a student, so it was an exciting one. It was a bit of a shootout. The gunslingers came out, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of offense, and it was a good performance from both teams. Obviously, like Coach Mack just mentioned, a frustrating one, but that second half was certainly a good one for Valley City State.
It was a good time. It really was a good day today for the Vikings, even if the win didn't come. It really felt like it was a good day for Valley City State today, just from the standpoint that they woke up from some doldrums offensively. Even when they won last week, it didn't seem like the game had really been a favorable one for the Vikings. You never get rid of a win. You never, take that out of the equation, right? But it just seemed like it was a frustrating day for the Vikings even last week when they were winning the football game. And so to be in this situation now is something that is probably pretty positive. So it was fun to see that. And next weekend, I know you're talking about perhaps finding some way, I suppose, to be over in Jamestown to live in the excitement that is what it used to be Taylor Stadium and Raleigh-Greeno Field. I don't know what they call it anymore, but it's a nice place over there. And
I've been there
experience the
once.
rivalry from a different perspective, I suppose.
Absolutely, and possibly one of the final times that it'll be played. And
Yeah. I mean, is there an opportunity, off season if we play them when they don't have a full schedule in the NSIC? Or do we end up in a league together again at some point down the road? I mean, those are the things. But for right now, we got to go into it thinking, well, we may never see each other again. So it'll be an interesting day coming up next week.
Absolutely.
So. Jaden, thanks a lot for your help today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Jaden Babby at Color Commentary and Analysis. And again, Ellie Tombarge was our videographer today for our web stream. Dennis McCullough joining us in the post-game report today as well. Final score in this matchup today is Dickinson State 42 and Valley City State 24. Again, stay with us. We've got more Viking sports coming up this week. The Viking basketball team set to go to Bemidji State on Wednesday in non-conference men's play against the Division II team out of the NSIC. And our plans are to be there for that. Stay tuned for further broadcast details. And then we'll keep you up to date with what's happening down the road for Viking men's and women's basketball after that. It'll be a while before they come back home, obviously, after that, though, due to some of the non-conference stuff they have going on the road. So it'll take some time to get them back here. But when we do get them back here, hopefully we'll be able to get them into a good place and bring you a little bit more. But it's going to be a little herky-jerky. However, Viking football, definitely. That's what we've got coming up for you again. Coming up next week. So we invite you to join us for that as we get ready to go in Jamestown coming up on Saturday. Thank all the fine sponsors. For those of you on the radio side on Q101, we'll put you back in regular programming. For those of you on the video side, thank you for joining us wherever you may have been today. Good one today, but it goes to Dickinson State. Your final score, Blue-Hawks 42, Vikings 24. For Q101, for KOVC Sports, for Viking football, I'm Ryan Cunningham saying so long. We'll talk to you again down the road here on Q101, KQDJ-FM.
I bring good news.
Let's get back to the music.